feel on your palate. So this is John Legend Chardonnay.
All right, thank you so much for the wine today. Next week I will have a wine of the day intro. Okay, all right, I'll have that Tuesday for sure. All right, thank you so much for being here. Listen, guys, last but not least at all, ladies and gentlemen around the world, put your damn hands together for a YouTube giant in these streets. Yes. Last week that woman came through here and praised her husband like I've never seen a husband be praised before. And right before that, she gave us some words of her own. She said stuff that was right up her alley. She said that you got to give your husband what he desires with your mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for yours truly. But before we do, we always got to play. She has her own intro as well. Here she is.
Black man, I feel to say we calling out all the hoes this year. Yes, we are. We calling out all the hoes in 2024, damn it. We tired of y'all. We calling out all the hoes in 2024 this year.
All right. Take heed to the messages in the building tonight. All right, it's good to see each and every one of you. You already know that I always have to check you guys out. I know I already asked, but I want to know how your family's doing. How are you doing? How are you guys really? All right, JT, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's Tuesday, bro. Can't help but be well, bro. So that's it. I ain't got no complaints. Won't do no good anyway if I do it. So.
The aspiring empty nester, Mr. Bennett, is in the building tonight. Mr. Bennett, how are you and the family tonight, my brother?
Family is doing fantastic. Me, I'm just overcoming a little cold here, so I got my ginger tea here that I'll be sipping on through the broadcast. And it was also leg day, so my legs aren't feeling too good. But I'll get stronger from this, and I'll be better for it. So all of that, everything's good.
It's good to see you. Rick, I don't know if you're still there. You still there with us, Rick?
Yeah, I'm here, man. My cam bugging. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well, you can take your time to fix. I just want to know how you and the wife, how's your family, brother?
Oh man, everything's everything. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got no complaints. It is what it is. Every day above ground's a good day, guys.
Absolutely, my brother. Embrace the grace. How are you today, Shug?
Good. On the long shift, but I'm here, and I love to see you guys on Tuesday. I really look forward to it.
Absolutely. Good to see you too. Listen, we had a church service over at Embrace the Grace's channel the other night. There was a prayer meeting. There was it just went through it. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. We had some church over there. I don't know.
We sure did. I had Dingaling come up there by accident. Didn't mean that to come up. I had an atheist come up there, and then we had to pray. Black man said, we got to lay grace on this channel tonight and right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I stopped in the middle of the show and said, no, this ain't right. We got to get some prayer in this thing tonight. All right, Anissa, how are you tonight? And I seen old guy run behind the wall again, so tell him we said hi. But how are you tonight, Shug?
I am doing lovely. I had a great day today. It was a peaceful, quiet day. So no complaints here. Everything's good. Thank you.
Right, good to see you, honey. Good to see you. And last but not least, take heed to the message in my boy Lost in Translation. Take heed. How are you today, Shug?
I'm doing just fine. I'm trying to try this new shade. What y'all think? It still look like my face, or does it look a little lighter?
Chocolatey. It looks good.
Chocolate.
No, it looks good. If you can't tell you have makeup on, then it did the job.
Right? Okay, good.
No. Looking like a brownie.
After the broadcast,
where the sprinkles at? I'm looking like a brownie with the sprinkles.
Oh, thank you.
That's a weed brownie right there. That's
hey, those are even better.
After the show, he's gonna be standing at the top of the staircase, button Nick. Get up here now.
Listen, I'm ready for all types of foolery. Okay, I'm ready for all types of foolery.
I love it, man. Last but not least, Bishop, the Bishop of Passion, is in the building tonight. The Bishop of Passion. When he speaks, women tend to take their clothes off. Lost in Translation is in the building tonight.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, I can't wait to have this conversation with y'all. Let me tell y'all something, man. I've been dealing with the devil all day long. That's how I knew the conversation today was going to be good. I've been battling with him. I had to let him know who I was.
Did you hear what I said?
I don't play that. I don't play that, sir. You know what I mean? I'm here to tell you, the devil will come to you in all forms, but it's always the same spirit. So I'm gonna let y'all know. Y'all get ready to buckle up. We're gonna have us some church today. Thank you, sir. Black Manifest, how are you today, sir?
Man, I am sunshine, partly cloudy with a chance of rain. Honeymoon happy and peacock proud to be here amongst the living and amongst the great friends. It is so good for us to be here. My pastor would say, the grass withers and the flowers fadeth, but the word shall stand forever. All right, now I want to hop into this show real quick. Because I don't want to waste no time. Tonight, relational witchcraft. What is that? We're going to get into it in a minute.
Yeah,
I have 3 videos that I want to present to you guys tonight, and we're going to go through these videos and break these videos down. I remember Mr. Bennett was a part of it, and Take Heed was a part of it as well when we broke down the Tony Evans series on marriage. Remember that? That was a great 2 shows that we had with the elder Tony Evans. So that was amazing. But tonight, I want to bring these videos up because I think they had great points, and I want us to dissect it, deconstruct it tonight. All right. The first video I want to play is, let me pull this one up. I want to start with the big one first. I'll start with the small one. Pause. Let's see. It's this one.
Find what witchcraft is, all right? Witchcraft is control, manipulation, or intimidation. The scripture says that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, meaning that whenever you go against God's law, whenever you go against God's word, you're saying that I want to make it happen myself. Whenever you take upon yourself, or whenever you take it upon yourself, the responsibility of accomplishing what God has called you to accomplish, I'm talking about in your own strength, your own way, outside of God's will or outside of God's word, the scripture calls that witchcraft. But what we're talking about is control, manipulation, and intimidation. It is your desire to make another person do or be something you want them to do or be without God's input or intervention. So like say you get with somebody and hear me, it happens so frequently and it's so familiar, people don't even know it. Say you get with a man, right? A woman gets with a man and she wants the man to even be a Christian. The man ain't in church and she wants the man to be a Christian. So she starts praying certain prayers like, Lord, make him go to church. Make him like God. Make him like the word. You can't make him do that. No, bro.
Wait, is that not a good prayer?
No, that's not a good prayer.
Is that witchcraft?
That's witchcraft.
Oh my God.
That's not a good prayer. Now, if you want to pray for a soul, you could do that. But you trying to make him do something for your benefit?
Right.
Because you want to be with him? I want him to be saved so I can be. No, you should want him to be saved so that he can know God. And guess what? That may include him not being with you.
Wow.
And if you really want what God wants for his life, then you will be willing to break up, live holy, do whatever you need to do so that he can be close with God. But if you're doing this so that they can be close with you or for your own benefit, for your own purpose, bro, that's witchcraft. Because you don't really care nothing about them. You just want them with you at any means necessary. So 100%, that's witchcraft. Look, I want him to be this and I want him to be that. Father, I want him. You need to accept him the way he is. That's number one. And then y'all can work together as friends. Friends sharpen friends the same way iron sharpens iron. Then y'all can work together to grow together. But there is no guarantee that he's going to grow into the version of whoever you want him to be. So you can't stick with him just to see him become what you want him to be. And there's a lot of people that do that. And literally their entire life, their entire relationship is bent on them making this man or making this woman. Because a lot of times it's true on the other end too.
People trying to change people.
100%. A man to get with a woman, the woman is conservative. She ain't no freak. She don't want to do all that stuff.
Slayer.
Right? She don't mind being walked into it in a monogamous, covenant, God-fearing relationship. But what she don't want you to do is liquor her up and talk her into stuff that she's gonna regret later. And people do it all the time. That's witchcraft.
Wow.
So we'll stop right there. We'll pause for a second. Let me bring it down, bring everybody back up. So far, guys, what are your thoughts so far? We'll start with my co-host here, Lost in Translation, man. What are your thoughts, my guy?
You know what? I'm so glad you started with me, because this is something that people really need to pay attention to what's going on, man. If you're trying to get something out of somebody, that's manipulation. That goes directly against God. God gives us free will. That's the reason why he put us in the garden. And he said, don't eat of the tree of good and evil. Don't eat of the tree of knowledge of good and of good and evil. And they went over there and did it anyway. But he didn't put up nothing to stop them from doing it. He just told them don't do it, but he still gave them the free will. And anytime you want to manipulate somebody or try to coerce them or tell them who they aren't and who they are to get them to move in the direction you want them to, that's manipulation, man. You can't do that. You can't. And the dude was absolutely correct. And people do this in relationships all the time, and you can tell by their language. And that's all you have to do is listen to what they're saying. And if there's some benefit for them, you might want to take a pause and take a step back and figure out, hey, is this really what I want? But some people are so enamored with, I'm gonna get this person, that man or that woman. That's coming from a place of selfishness. So one of the first things you need to do is you need to teach yourself to deny yourself. Even in the garden, when Jesus was in the garden for 40 days, you know what I'm saying? The devil came to him and he didn't say nothing. And Jesus was hungry. He didn't attack his hunger first. He tried to tell him who you are. He said, if you be the son of God, go ahead and feed yourself. You know what I mean? That type of thing. He said, let's do this that way. So God was like, no. Jesus was like, if man cannot live by bread alone, you know what I'm saying, but by the word of God. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. The first thing you need to know is you need to know who you are. The second thing you need to know is what tactics does the devil do? They try to attack the weaknesses that are you, the very thing that you want. So that's why I have to keep trying to tell people, man, sometimes the devil will show up in people that you love, but you got to recognize it and separate the two. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Anissa, we're going to jump over to you, sweetheart. What are your thoughts so far on the video and what we're talking about tonight?
Well, I think he was speaking straight facts, especially the part about dating, and you want to make that man go to church or make that woman go to church. And my pastor calls it evangelism dating. The Bible is clear that we should not be unequally yoked. And so many times women will choose a man and you know that he is not walking with God. He's not interested in the things of God, but he's a good man. He's a good man. And you think that you can get with that man and you're going to draw that man in and you're going to bring him and you're going to do all of that on your own. And it can end up really not being a good situation. So I think he was just speaking straight facts on that. And yeah, I approve that message. That was right on.
Ricky, what about you, my guy?
Oh, it got to be somebody on a famous podcast to say it.
Oh, you've been saying it.
This what we doing now?
No, Ricky, don't do that. You've been saying it, Rick. Come on. I'm going to give you flowers, brother. I'm going to give you flowers. Come on now. That's right. Why I sent you the link today.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. This is what I gotta, it's circular because it's true. I gotta say it, right?
Right.
You love the person as they are when you meet them. Anything else they become past that is a bonus. Right? Most people go into relationships with the expectation you can't change nobody. You can change no one. People change themselves, right? And to elaborate on the point that he was making about the woman praying, she is to improve what I currently am. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. She is to improve. It is not for him to make that point of what a woman wants a man to do. He should be doing that for you already if that is something you require from him. You can't be hoping I'm gonna do that. That might not be in me. You're hoping that I become that, but that's not me. It's the same with dudes. You hoping your girl become, that's her. This is her. Love her where she's at. But people love the they love the potential of people. And it's not even the real potential, right? It's the potential that you see. that you see, the way you translate and decipher information. Jesus didn't, he said Jesus met people where they was at. He ain't say, I need you to be more than this for me to talk to you, for me to recognize you, for me to love you. He met you where you was at. But what do I know?
Wow. Let's go back. Let's go to Embrace the Grace. Talk to me.
Our God is a jealous God, and He don't play that. It's you're all in or nothing. It's not 1 foot in or 1 foot out. And He takes witchcraft seriously. And the penalty for that, practicing under Mosaic law, it was death. So to try to force somebody to be something that they're not, or feel something that they don't feel, or try to know the future, that's the Lord's position. And we can't be like God. There's only two sources of spiritual power, and that's God and Satan. And Satan only has as much power as God allows him to have, even though it's considerable, but it's a lot of power. But he, at the end of the day, God will pull the plug whenever He sees fit. So we have to stop playing around on the other side, because we're going to get caught up in the dark side. And if we believe in God and want to be with God and follow God, we got to leave all that other stuff alone and just stay with our Almighty God.
All right. I'm going to hop up to Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, what's your thoughts?
I had some issues with what he was saying. The prescription, the diagnosis, I think is of the symptoms is correct. I mean, certainly manipulation, doing things for selfish and selfish purposes, that is very real. That's not witchcraft. The scripture that he was referring to was 1 Samuel 15:23. Says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. But that he did not say it is witchcraft. Witchcraft is the direct consultation of evil spirits, divination. So if you go into a tarot reader for your relationship advice, or if you're going to go to some stones and to get some relationship advice, that is witchcraft. But one thing I don't like sometimes in these discussions is that we tend to sometimes take human beings off the hook. We are born sinful. There's plenty enough in us that rebels against God, and we don't need any other demonic influences on it. It's not like a 50-50 thing where we're constantly every day. No, we're bad all by ourselves. So but certainly what he talked about, yes, do people act selfishly? You're right, because of their sinful nature, absolutely. But let's call things what they are. That is not witchcraft. But there are things that are indeed witchcraft that people do put a lot of their faith and stock into when making decisions. So again, you want to go to that tarot reader and say, what's my relationship going to be like? Yeah. Now you're getting into something that's totally different, but that's not what he was talking about there. And I don't like the classification, but what those things that people do, yeah, those are bad things, no question.
All right, take you to the message.
So I remember when I first came onto your channel, sir, and I got a revelation from Mr. Bennett. And I have always kept that in my heart. He said that in order for a woman to want a good marriage, she has to ask God to clean out everything that is within her that is not right for marriage. And I remember arguing with Mr. Bennett about this foolishness. And I was like, no, you're supposed to pray to God to ask him for a good man. And Mr. Bennett said, no, this is where women get this mixed up at. That you go and pray to God, and then when things don't go right within the marriage, you say you didn't hear from God. I always have a problem when women do that. So when he said that, I had to go to my husband. I went to my king and I explained the situation. And he said to me, Mr. Bennett is right. because I went to God and talked to God about you before we married. And he gave me the green light. So what happened was you just got the notification that I was your husband. That's it. So now he told me, when you see Mr. Bennett next Tuesday, you close your mouth and apologize. So when I had to come back, I had to apologize to Mr. Bennett because I was wrong. And from that day forth, I have always preached that to everybody on my channel that are women. You have to ask God to clean out everything that is not right within you for marriage, in order for the marriage to succeed. Not you go to God and pray, I want a man that believes in you. I want a man that is this. I want a man that is that. Because that's not what it requires. That's not what you need. There's some things as Christian women, we got to understand the assignment. There's some things that is not right within us. Just because you go to church every Sunday or you in church 7 days a week doesn't make you right for marriage. That's why you have to go to God and ask him to clean out everything that is not right within you for marriage. So with that being said, that's my case right there. So I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Take heed to the message. JT from What We Know Podcast. What are your thoughts?
Everybody stepped on my damn point. Shit. You know,
that's all right. Say it again. Say it again.
Having all these damn intelligent people up here. Damn. No, but the only thing I need to say is that a lot of people are not conscious of process, right? Everything takes a process. And when it comes down to it, this is what we're talking about. You have to have consciousness of the process to get you to wherever you are. If you're asking God to give you those little bitty things, send me a man, give me $1 million. It's not, you know what that shit might entail? The process might end up being that you're going to have to lose way more than what you can expect to lose because you want that. I want him to be in, and it was, I do have to agree with my man when he say a woman sit back and say she prayed that this man is God-fearing. She prayed that this man go to church every week. Yeah, he end up going, but he might not be going with you. He might be going with somebody else. It's kind of like the 12-step program. You know, you got somebody that's on alcohol or drugs or something like that, and you got people that pray for them. Their mate will be praying for them and working with them just to help them get through those 12 steps. And by the time they got to step 11, they might have to leave that same person that was walking them to that doorstep to find their redemption, because they found out that, oh, damn, I was the bad part of that person's life. I was the enabler. I was the one that was doing the things. And so when they had to get rid of the drugs, they had to get rid of everything that it was attached to. And sometimes it'd be you that they were attached to. So you got to be careful what you call yourself praying for. I definitely agree with what Mr. Bennett said. That's not witchcraft. That there is selfishness. I ended there.
All right. So I'm going to get the video back up so we can continue.
You're trying to turn a conservative girl into a freak.
And I've seen those relationships, and it's so much contention. I mean, they're pissed at each other
100%
constantly, or really it's the guy, or depending on the situation. But
so do y'all remember? And so we got to deal with some ancient archetypes. Do y'all remember like seeing movies growing up where the witch would turn somebody into a frog, a cake, or a cat, or a frog, or something like that? That's an archetype. That's a symbol that I have control over what you become. Wow. That's witchcraft. I can manipulate you through flattery, through words, through deceit, through lies, through curses or spells, and I can make you act different than you normally act.
It's like when she, oh my God, you know a good example?
What?
You know, the woman, she kisses the frog and he turns into the handsome prince.
Okay.
So she turned this frog into a handsome prince, all because of her affection, her kiss, 100%. Her intimacy, turned this frog, who really is just a frog,
right,
into a handsome prince.
And now you got women thinking that through their intimacy, through their sex, through their gawk, game.
Slayer.
Oh my God. Hey, did y'all know it was gonna go down like this tonight?
That baffles me too. That I think that's very like that's still a real thing. I think that people in general think that sex
100
is more than enough to change the way somebody thinks, change the way somebody acts, change their willingness to commit to you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is
that's why people be like, hey, well, let me give it to him early. Let me give it to him quick, because if I give it to him quick, it's gonna lock him down. It's gonna shut him down. It's gonna keep him here. And men think the same way. There's men and women. That's what I'm saying. Witchcraft is not a male or female thing. And a lot of times it's usually passed down parentally. Like you're seeing it in the home. You're seeing mom manipulate daddy. You're seeing dad manipulate mom. You're seeing dad and mom manipulate children, and you're seeing children manipulate parents. You're growing up in an environment where everybody's using their emotional. See, this is what you got to understand. When you're dealing with witchcraft, people can use different things to lure you, seduce you, or just put a spell on you. Some people use physical, like their physical body or physical things. Some people use intellect or conversation. They're great at talking. And if you just let them keep talking, they will talk you out of your drawers.
So now you're describing, okay, because this was just actually in the chat. Anna Dominique just posted this, one of our initiates. She says seduction is witchcraft. Now, is that true?
Yes. Well, I mean, let me say it like this. Well, number one, if it's sex or if it's sexual interaction outside of a covenant relationship, we got to already kind of wonder what the agenda is.
Okay.
Right? We got to wonder what the agenda is. So seduction outside of marriage, you got to wonder, okay, what is their agenda? What do they want from me? Why do they want it from me? And why are they going to these lengths to get it from me? So 100%. So seduction outside of marriage, I think is dangerous. And I think you really have to begin to like see what the person's agenda is, what their motive is, and what's in their heart. Seduction inside of marriage is a love language. Yeah. Like you need to be seductive inside of a marriage. You need to constantly utilize flattery, foreplay. You need to constantly utilize those types of things to make sure that you sustain the level of intimacy and fire. So seduction within a marriage, as long as you're seducing your partner. Now again, bruh, it all starts with the intent of a person's heart. Because if I'm seducing you because it's Valentine's Day and we want to have a phenomenal night, that's one thing. But if I'm seducing you because I asked you if I could get a TV or a purse and you said no, and now I'm using my body to start to influence you, then even in a marriage, seduction would still be illegal then.
You know what? And this, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the pickup artist. Because when I think about a witch, when we talk about witchcraft, they already have the intention of what they want something to become, and they reverse engineer whatever the potion 100%. Or the spells need to be to create this outcome.
And it's solely self-serving.
And it's solely self-serving. It's there to take. So the thing about it is, it's like when you consider that, that's what makes you a witch. It's your intention of what you want to happen. So for example, these pickup artists, they can teach guys all of these strategies that are all psychologically based.
I get you.
That can create outcomes to manufacture connections and essentially create the outcome of sex.
Did you hear this one? So I heard somebody say this particular kind of game that they play. So they'll see a fine female, maybe that they work with, or somebody that they see frequently, and they'll constantly call that female the wrong name.
I saw that.
You saw that. So they'll be like, hey, Brittany, until the female says, hey, that's not my name. It's like, oh, well, you remind me of somebody I used to date. And so, like, it's a whole game. And my thing is, hear me, there is game. There's a level of chivalry. There's a level of law that governs our interaction with the opposite sex.
Yes.
If we want to be successful, that's good. That's all within fair play. But when I have evil intent, when I have impure intent, that takes it to another level. You following me? And so, yeah, there's going to be a level of game. But my thing is, if you're playing game at the beginning and you're not showing who you really are, you're going to have to keep the game up. At some point, you're going to let the game guard down, right? And she's going to see who you really are. And you want her to like who you really are. So, you know, I mean, my thing is, yeah, you need to have a strategy, but playing a game where you're not necessarily who you really are and you're talking different or you're acting different, I think that's a bit corny.
But
all right, we'll stop there. Guys, thoughts? We'll start with take heed to the message first. Take heed. What are your thoughts?
I'm just sitting here shaking my head because I'm like, how many times have I used sex, doing something with my husband to get something? And I'm like, oh my goodness. I do this all the time. I do this all the time. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. So I'm sitting here like I'm guilty.
Shame.
Because he will tell me, he will say to me, like if I ask him for something and I say, honey, this is how much it's gonna cost. And then he'll look at me, he'll say no, right? And then I'll give him that look. I'll touch him a little bit, you know. I tell the kids go away. I lock the door. And I do some strange things for a piece of change. So I want to know, am I doing witchcraft? Because I'm scared now.
What you say? Oh, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Before we continue, we have a celebrity in the building tonight. I knew he would come. I invite him every week, and he finally came through. He has a huge hit out right now. We'll play that first, and we'll bring him up.
I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
Stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trey is in the building tonight. Ladies and gentlemen.
What up, Trey?
Everybody? What's up, y'all? Hey, Black man, how much it gonna cost me to get you to get rid of that? What's it gonna cost?
You know, we'll talk about it later.
Some of that Tesla stock, bro.
Yeah, give us some of that stock. But man, thank you for being here, Trey. I'm gonna hop over to Ricky. Ricky, what are your thoughts, my guy?
I don't know. He was kind of long-winded, so he kind of lost me.
Yeah.
The one part I do want to speak on when he was talking about the game. Here's a gem for you guys, right? Listen real close. The thing about the game is there is no game. The best game you can have is to have no game whatsoever. Come as you are. Be who you are. That way you know if a person really rock with you for you. Right? There shouldn't be no act. You should try to put your best foot forward. Right? But as far as any game, it's not necessary. And I do want to agree with Take Heed. You know, stuff always get asked after the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes. You know, I need you to do this tomorrow. My car making this noise. It always comes after this, you know.
Absolutely. Man, appreciate that, man. Anissa, your thoughts?
Well, I think he had some very valid points, especially when he said how I think women may have been trained to think that being seductive or being sexual, whether you're dating or getting to know someone, we women do use that as a form of manipulation with men, because we have been, I think, taught, some of us, that that's how you get what you want. That's how you get the man. You have women that are out here competing for men, and they're doing, I'm going to outdo, the other woman, because we think that that's the way, to get what we want out of the man. That's the way to get the relationship. That's the way to get the marriage. You got women out here having kids outside of wedlock, thinking that, well, I'm going to be the one to give him his first baby, and I'm going to, whatever. So yeah, I think that sadly, I think some women have been taught that, and some women have embraced that type of behavior. So I think he had good points with that, and it also works some vice versa as well. But yeah, that's the part that I wanted to comment on.
All right, thank you so much. embrace the grace?
I'm starting to feel like take heed, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't use my pretty privilege. I didn't use my intelligence. I didn't use everything I got to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes taking candy from a baby, but not with ill will intentions. I mean, I'm just keeping it real with y'all.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes it's necessary for survival. Sometimes, you know, I want that Michael Kors bag, and I'm gonna cook his favorite meal. I'm gonna, you know, do what I do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get what I want. But I think that if it's reciprocated, it's not as bad. What do you guys think? You know, because there are women out here who just take, but don't give back. And that's when I feel that there's an issue. I don't mind using my pretty privilege and my woman privilege, but I know that I reciprocate it. I know when he wants something. I know when we go to the mall and he sees something for a while and he doesn't get it, I'll go right back the next day and get it. If there's reciprocation, I don't feel like it's, you know, seduction. Would you guys agree with me?
I don't think it have ill intentions. I think it's just inside your relationship with the man. Listen, we know when we being finessed with our woman. Shit, sometimes we'll tell you, hold the ass. You ain't gotta even do all of that. I got you. You know, so it's good. You know, you ain't gotta. I mean, I'm still gonna take it, but you know, you didn't have to do that.
I was just about to say that to you. I was just about to say, well, do they not do it? Because I've never experienced that one before.
No, we gonna do it because it's on GP. Just because, you know, we into you like that. So yeah.
Right. And right when you said that, I was looking up some things here because I know Mr. Bennett and I always be typing during the show, looking at these things as we go. But I looked it up here. It says witchcraft attacks can be identified through signs such as manipulation, control, and the use of fear, and to cast spells and spread lies.
Gossip.
Yeah.
That's a sin.
I think,
no, I'm not saying that is witchcraft because
I know you're not. I'm just saying based on his
the
definition.
etymology of witchcraft. So yeah.
So so I was looking up. I said I typed in biblical signs of witchcraft, and this the first thing came up says identifying signs of witchcraft, and that's what I just read off. So I don't know, you know, that's what I just read off Google. But I will say, when it comes to the sex thing, I think man, that definitely can be used. It can, man, let's just be real, y'all. We always be real. We unfiltered over here. Pussy has destroyed a nation. It has destroyed nations. It has destroyed men, kings. It's just, you know, even from a biblical perspective, I remember, Mr. Benny, you're probably more familiar with it. I know, lost in translation, we're having a brain fart here. But remember when the woman with the stepdaughter, she used the daughter to sexually manipulate him to have John's head cut off, right?
Right.
Is that how it went? Right? Yeah. So she used her own stepdaughter to seduce him. Say, hey, you can get that thing, but you bring me the head of John the Baptist. So I think sex can definitely be used. I think a lot of men can be. I think there's a lot of men in prison right now because of sex. You know, women have manipulated them, made love to them, and had that Jezebel spirit over them. And shit, these men go killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'll kill everybody for you, baby. So, you know, Mr. Bennett, I want to get your thoughts, man. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be something to what I said before. I think he's honestly just as, you know, and I'm sure you may have some different videos tonight. My spider sense is already up on this guy. And I think this is one of those guys who likes to use certain buzzwords and phrases because it gets clicks and lights. He basically scratches the ears of people who want to hear this kind of stuff. Like I said, human beings are bad all by ourselves. We are selfish to a fault, and we will do anything to get what we want. So we don't have to reclassify it as anything else. We don't have to say the devil made me do it, or some spirit made me do it, or some spirit of Jezebel made me do it. No, we're bad enough all by ourselves. And so people will use things like sex to manipulate. It's called the oldest profession for a reason. So we don't have to go and try to repackage or something that's already been around since time immemorial. So, I mean, the idea that, even in marriage, sex could be transactional. And I think a lot of that oftentimes starts with, and again, I've talked about it in the space time and time again, we have not for forever have not taught, especially women, a proper view of sex, a proper view of sex in marriage, a proper use and appreciation for their bodies. And so the idea is, well, I'm going to turn this conservative into a freak kind of thing. The girl was never really properly raised to have a good perspective on sex to begin with. And now these guys are going through all these hurdles to try to make her something that she's just not comfortable with. And then that's when it becomes manipulative. So again, you got to start with foundations here. And if the foundation's bad, I don't care how many lessons or sermons or, lectures, whatever that people are going to say about something, it's still going to be bad. So I think the whole thing needs to be just torn down and let's start over. God made man and women to be sexual beings and to desire one another. And certainly in the covenant of marriage, the marital bed is not defiled. And if we could just start with that, I think a lot of marriage would be a lot better off. But we want to put these labels on and we want to, rebrand. There's no need to do that. But yes, people do use sex for manipulation. And, it's no surprise that, as you've often quoted on the show, BMU, that 70% of marriages are now sexless. Because, again, you've taken something that should be freely given and freely shared with mutual benefits, and you made it a quid pro quo. So you do this for me, I do this for you. That's not marriage. Marriage is about 100% sacrifice. I give because you're my wife. Full stop. But if I'm doing it because I want something out of you, even as your husband, I'm doing something wrong. And I'm making something that is, again, supposed to be free. Now I'm putting a price tag on it. Oh, to get you to do something. Oh, I gotta take you on a trip. I gotta take you to some island somewhere to get the freak out of you or whatever. You're asking for problems.
Right. And Mr. Bennett, let's look at it from this perspective as well. I'm just going to throw this out there. I think when you talked about manipulation, there are some women, and I know of a couple right now that if his wife don't want to do nothing freaky at all, but if she get that spirit of that liquor in her, she'll suck his dick while he's standing on top of the volcano.
Right. Now I do want to actually, thanks for bringing that up, because I do want to talk about, he lumped everything together. Like I said, there is such a thing called witchcraft. And I do think once you start introducing drugs, certain drugs, certain potions, what they used to date the grape drug and all those things, all this stuff, all the weed, ayahuasca, Spanish people be going people be going to these things and they be having the peace pipes and they be getting into these altered states of consciousness to be doing these illicit acts. So yeah, I think there's certainly, once you start bringing drugs into the situation, I think at that point, I think you could say you might be introducing witchcraft, because again, you're putting people into an altered state and they don't even know what's going on, and then they wake up and like, what happened? Well, I don't even know what I was doing. That is certainly very dangerous, and I that would be something I would certainly call out. But just somebody just trying to manipulate you or whatever, that's just somebody just again thinking about their selfish needs.
Can I ask Mr. Bennett a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that this whole concept of witchcraft, that most people think that it's more like sci-fi, FX, like they think of movies instead of something that, like what we're talking about? As soon as we started talking about like with drugs and everything, I just look at the mind being altered, right? Yes. Something that the mind, but most people would think, and it's just hard for me to think about it because I have to take the movies and shit out of my damn mind.
Right.
When we're talking about something like witchcraft and things like that, I believe in spirit, right? But I think that we can alter the mind to have us to look at the spirit a little bit different. I think that's what it basically is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
is that what you agree with?
Yeah, and like I said, that can certainly drugs can play a big part of that, but also even just meditation, seances. You know, when they get the candles and the chanting and like I said,
the crystals.
People intentionally will go through these paces to conjure up these things, and there are people who do have connections. I believe with that world, with that element, and they use it for their profit and for their advantage of gullible people. And then when you talk about what we see on TV, the movies, the horror movies, the witchcraft movies, and all that stuff where it's there. I mean, they may take it to like a sensationalized, take it even further. But yeah, we get these images in our minds in terms of what we think something is, and people walking around like zombies and whatnot. So yeah, I think you can certainly take it there, but I think for most people, it's just people being selfish.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny that there's a segment out there that's doing that, but it's not everything. I mean, it's not every time someone talks you into something that's witchcraft. No, I'm not. There's no need. Like I said, there's no need to rebrand. We're bad.
Yeah,
that's
Erica. Right, Erica Alexander, and I'm gonna get Trey in here. Erica Alexander, the who played what was her name? Maxine on
Living Single.
Yeah, she was on the Breakfast Club and she was talking. She got teary-eyed. She was very emotional when she was talking about it. That her grandmother was a witch, and she said her grandmother was a witch to the point she used the power so much it killed her. It took her out. She used it against somebody else, and it was so strong that it killed her and the person. And she talked about telling her husband, "Listen, you're a cheater. I caught your ass. I caught you cheating." And she put dust in his car and on his clothes and stuff when he wasn't around. And she said to him, if you cheat again, the spirits will know it. They will take your life. And they found him. He died in the car with a prostitute, in a Cadillac with a prostitute. Right when he was pulling his penis out. He just fell dead in the car. And so she said that her grandmother, them the Louisiana folks. So if you go to Louisiana, it's very scary. If you go down Bourbon Street, I'm telling you, don't go all the way down, have fun, but don't go to the part on the other end where the dolls and they telling you can bring pictures.
Yeah, don't fool with that.
Don't fuck. I never went down that far. I love my home state. I just don't do it. But I do believe that people are attached to those bad spirits, and they, like the women say, put your minstrel in the damn spaghetti and bury your man drawers. And I remember Shoo Shoo. Shout out to Shoo Shoo. She's on another set right now shooting another TV show. But Shoo Shoo was telling us that her husband was very abusive or something, or very iron fist with their aunt. And she said that her aunt got with those women in her family who were witches. And she said they went back over there for a family gathering. He's just sitting there. She said, go to bed. And she said he just got up, walked to bed, went and got into bed, went to sleep.
Her and Mandrell both told that story.
Yeah. I was like, damn. So, Trey, thank you for being here tonight, my brother. What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far and your perspective, my brother? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. I think if you believe hard enough for things, you'll believe anything. That's what I think. What that man said, it reminds me, I had a great aunt. Basically, every family gathering, she would pretty much tell everybody that they're going to hell. That was her thing. Everything you did, everything you do, is not of God, so you all going to hell. That's pretty much this. That's what it sounds like to me. Like that's what I hear when I hear him talking. Everything you doing, you going to hell for. And if I'm going to hell because I seduce a woman, by the way, the definition of seduce is to entice a woman, entice somebody into sexual activity. Well, then I guess I'm just going to hell, because to me, seduction is a huge part of intimacy and sex. You have to have it. I've been in relationships where there was no seduction, and it didn't work out. So it's necessary on both parts. I myself have a way of seducing women, right? Otherwise, how am I going to get them into bed, right? There's a part of it. That's a part of the whole thing. So if that is witchcraft, then I guess I'm a witch. I don't know what to tell you. It just don't make it. A lot of it just doesn't make sense to me. It just has a very, you're going to hell sense to it. But That's one of the reasons why I had to stop watching that show. They bring people on, and a lot of times these guys get platforms and they just be rambling. And like Uncle Ricky said, he's long winded, so it's hard to keep up with what he's saying. He's making 8 or 9 different points, but I think if you believe it, and when I was in the boot camp, there was a guy who believed in what is it? He was Wiccan. I think it's called Wiccan. He believed in like trees and stuff like that, or no, is it like something like that?
Nature,
yeah, nature, yeah. Look, you believe in whatever you want to believe in, and nobody could tell him otherwise. You know, and I remember in basic he got in trouble because he had little pockets of dirt that he would bring into the barracks. He had little bags of dirt he would bring from the outside that I don't know what he was doing with them, but whatever they did, they made him get rid of it. So you can believe whatever you want to believe, but it just sounds interesting. It sounds weird to me. I've dated women that were from New Orleans, family that were from New Orleans, that were Creole, and I've heard some very wild things. The spaghetti stuff. I've heard all kinds of stuff, and I've never let it affect me. I don't prescribe to that type of stuff, and I leave it alone. But everybody's entitled to believe what they want.
My dad's mom, I always thought she was a witch. I did. I ain't lying. Dad, I hope he ain't watching. I love my grandma. She dead now, but damn, sometimes I'll be like, damn, I'm glad because that one was me. Anyway, she would say the same thing you talk about the plant shit. She would say that plants have feelings. They control what our level of oxygen and all this other shit, right? And she went to the part where she said, I'm gonna prove it to you. And she would have one plant on the other side of the house in the window. The other side of the house, she would have another one. She would go in the damn room with one plant and cuss the plant out every day. You motherfucker, you son of a bitch. Blah. And then she would go to the plant on the other side, same damn plant, and say, I love you. You look amazing today. After 30 days, that fucking plant on the other side of the house was dead. The one on the other side of the house was alive like a motherfucker. So I never forget that shit, bro. I'm like, she said, I told you, they have feelings. And if you talk down to them, you can take their soul just like a human. I said, oh, hell no. Mama, I don't want to go back over there no more. We stayed for the summer. That was horrifying, bro. I felt like I was in a fucking nightmare. That's it, bro.
So, Black man, can I tell you how my mind works when I hear that story? Not to say that it's not true, right? But can I tell you how my mind works when I hear stories like that? I think if she had a negative disposition with one plant, she probably didn't feed it what it needed, right? That's how I hear it. You had a negative disposition with one plant, so maybe it wasn't watered properly and it wasn't given the sun and nurture was. Versus the other plant, which she did like, it's almost like children, right? You have the children, and there's some parents that don't like this particular child. That children is treated a certain way versus the children they do actually like, and that child is treated a certain way. And so we'll say, see how this child turned out? It's like, no. You didn't give that child the same love you gave the other child. Have you given both children the same love? They probably both would have turned out the same. That's just how my mind works. That's what I do.
Yeah. I just don't, like I said again, I shouldn't have said I'm glad she did. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize, guys. God, I'm sorry. But I'm saying, like, this woman was just to the point where she would just do stuff like that, and then you would hear her in the room at night. Like, we'd be sleeping in the room over across the hall, and you just hear her in the rocking chair. She'd be bidding, and she'd just be in there, just all fucking night. Bro, it was just, and I told her, I said, man, my brother said, if she, and this is my brother's words, not mine. Nick, shout out to my brother Nick. My brother said, if she get up with that bullshit, I'm going to hit across the head with this fucking hammer. My brother said, I'm going to knock her ass out. I said, man, don't do that to her, brother. But she was just spooky and scary, bro. So, and she was a straight coon ass. I mean, from the bottom of the boot. So, but anyway.
Black man, before we move on, I'm gonna give us a little context of what we're really looking at here. You know what I mean? Okay. And when he said that women use sex as a means of manipulating men, generally when women have to manipulate men, there's a lack of honor. You know what I'm saying? Because honor is something that you do out of love. You know what I mean? Manipulation is something that you do because you don't know how to honor at that particular point in time. Because honor works from a place of duty, and you do it just because. You see what I'm saying? And then what happens is that person does for you out of honor. That's why when you get married, it says love, honor, and obey. And I don't think that people use honor as a means to do what it needs to be done. You see what I'm saying? Because it's easier to manipulate if all you've ever seen is manipulation. But if you've been around people who honor people all the time, who always have something good to say about somebody else, that whole environment grows differently. You see what I'm saying? Versus somebody says, hey, you know what? If you take the trash out for me, I got something for you later on. You know what I mean? It riles up something in somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what happens is it plays on whether or not people believe this or not. It plays on a lack or some place of insecurity. If you let people talk enough, long enough, all they'll do is sit there and watch you squirm. And then they'll find out exactly what it is that there's a lack in, and they'll play on that. That is a form of manipulation. When men want to be intimate with their woman, they will go out of their way. They're going to vacuum, whatever it is, they're going to take the load off if they want to get what they want to get. You know what I'm saying? Instead of him saying, you know what, babe, I honor you. I really want us to be closer together tonight because I really enjoy your company. That type of thing. That type of language requires work, thought. You know what I mean? It requires honor. You know what I mean? Because we haven't been taught that. But it is so much easier to manipulate. And what do we do as people? We always do what's easy. You know what I mean? Because think about it. When you manipulate somebody, you're not giving anything up. But when you honor somebody, you're giving something up. You're actually serving somebody. So the thing about it is when people get married, they're supposed to be a union of service to one another. But anytime you get somebody who wants to trick people out of their drawers or whatever, they would actually use words and manipulation to do something without really having to give something up. And I think that is what this gentleman was talking about when he started talking about manipulation and witchcraft, for a lack of a better term. Instead of saying and calling out what it is, it's basically a lack of honor. So whenever you don't know how to honor somebody, you lean to the default, which is manipulation. Does that make sense?
I got a question for you.
So can I step in real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sure.
So I feel like a heathen tonight. Yes.
That's all right. That's all right, take heed.
I feel like a heathen. I'm gonna share with you why. I always tell people, suck your husband dick, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. I do it myself. Okay.
Yes. That's because you're honoring.
And I like it. Okay.
Right.
Then the other part, okay, being fresh around my husband and seducing him, I like that part. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm a heathen. I come to that conclusion.
No, I ain't gonna say that now.
I don't understand.
But you're being a heathen to your husband. You're allowed a lady in the streets and a whore in the sheets.
But wait, Grace. Listen. The way that he talking, right, and the way everybody talking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I do this.
But to your husband
all the time. Is this?
I'm
wondering.
I still understand. How is that?
Right, it's not, Mr. B. I agree, Mr. B.
It's not. You are enjoying serving your husband.
Your husband, exactly.
And because I mean, it's the same thing for us. Like when I please my wife, that's a high for me.
Come on, Mr.
I mean, just as a dude, just talking straight facts. If I get my woman off, I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? That's not a selfish thing. You take pleasure in pleasuring other people. It's like your service to your husband is in and of itself its own reward. Mm-hmm. That's I think how it should go. When you do things for people and you get that, it's just like if you cook the meal, you serve the meal, right? When I cook for my family and they say, "Oh, Dad, that was great. That was the best meal." I feel good because I did something for them.
You're getting gratification from
it's a feedback loop that constantly gives back to you. But if you're talking about operating selfishly, you're not even thinking in the best interest of your husband. When you talk about you giving up, and also for people who do manipulate, what they are giving, they don't even value. So like when you giving him the whatever, you don't, more than times than not, like the prostitute, she doesn't even value necessarily the act that she's doing. It's purely transactional. It only has worth in that, what am I going to get out of this person for me doing this service? But you're not operating on that level. So I don't see anything wrong with the fact that you take pleasure in doing these things, and certainly he's good with it. I think if more people operate on that level, I think you have a lot better marriages out there.
So
right, and it goes back to that. It goes back to that verse. Take heed. You know, your bed is blessed, right, and undefiled. So whatever you do with your husband, God's okay with it. He tripping about that.
I'm just saying, because what it sound like. Okay, I'm only joking with y'all, but what it sound like is that I'm a heathen. That's what it sound like. Okay, I just want to share that part with y'all. That's what it sound like. Heathen. But thank you, Mr. Bennett. I appreciate your input. But that's what it sound like. Now, mind you, okay, I tell other women to do these things, but I say with your husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I don't say just go all willy-nilly with some man you just met. I say your husband. Right. Okay. Now I feel some type of way. I don't know if my husband gonna touch me tonight because I feel like a heathen. You know.
Take heed. Let me put your mind at ease, baby. Let the Bible say it is more blessed to give than it is to receive.
Come on, Ross.
That's what it is.
And
yes,
even the
that's what
even
the advice that you're giving to the women, again, it's still about the mindset. Because again, a woman can take your advice and use it in a selfish and manipulative manner. So if anything, if you want to, revisit it, your intention is what's important. If you think, okay, I'm gonna get him to do more because I'll start doing that, then yeah, that's manipulation. But
just a minute. You know what? You remember back in the day we had a show, it was about a year ago, when Mandriel and E-Man got into it, and I had my pastor on here. And E-Man said that it's witchcraft for a woman to deny her husband sex. Because it creates something on the inside of him, what makes him not think about love anymore, but makes him think about cheating, or it gives him the desire to go against what God's will is in a marriage. And
was that when he didn't pick up?
I laughed at E-Man.
Right.
Was that when he didn't pick a goalpost? Was that the goalpost?
Yeah.
Which goalpost you gonna pick?
Yeah. He so he was saying that, but I'm not going to go as far as that either, Mr. Bennett. But I will say that when a woman denies her husband, it does crank up a spirit inside that man that drives that man somewhere else. It really does. Like if a man ain't getting none, these sexless marriages out here and these dudes at work, they're not thinking clearly. They're not really, in the first
very uninspired. Yeah.
You're very uninspired. They don't want to do. I mean, it's like a spirit take over them. They don't want to do shit.
It creates an element of disrespect.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anytime you deny your spouse, there's a little bit of disrespect that creeps in. And it's kind of hard to honor something you disrespect, but we don't speak that out loud. That's just one of them things that just goes unsaid.
Because you're dictating his celibacy. You're telling him, I'm celibate, you celibate.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's no such thing as celibacy in marriage. That's some bullshit. That's the lie from the pit of hell. If a woman denies her husband sex at any level, I think it's hard, unless you both agree, Mr. Bennett, I got to put the word in there, unless you both agree, it's what the Bible says, or unless that woman's on her menstrual. The Bible speaks that a man should not even be in the house with his woman when she's on her menstrual. However, hotels make a lot of money.
I don't deal with the flow stuff, but even then I would still say that's a part of the Levitical law. I don't think it applies today. I just don't. That's but again, I'm not a member of the flow club. Like I don't roll that way either. But
you don't travel in muddy waters.
No, bloody waters.
and so that's one of the things I think. I think it's I call them demons. I think wives are demons who reject their husbands, who don't give their husbands sex, and then be the ones on the internet playing victim and saying he cheated. I can't believe he did this to me. No, he did that to you because you haven't had sex with this man since December 2022. I knew of a guy. His name is James. A shout out to James. He probably not watching this. He's a pretty older guy now. But James used to say, my wife don't have sex with me unless she's really, really tipsy or drunk, or unless it's a holiday.
Dang.
I used to say, man, your wife's a demon. She needs to be exorcised. You find a Catholic priest and get the damn exorcism started. She's a demon. Ricky, what are your thoughts, brother?
On what?
Ricky, you ain't getting no ass.
Huh?
Ricky, that's what she's gonna tell you, Ricky. You know what? I think sex is for kids. I don't think I'm gonna give you no more of this pussy.
Okay.
We too old for sex.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Ricky like me. All right.
Ricky say okay.
Ricky like me. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how you think this is about to go on, but all right, then.
That's cool.
Mr. Bennett, you ain't getting no more of his ass. You know, I think those days of sex are over.
I'm not getting no more of her ass. I'm getting somebody's ass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be attached to a female. And she gonna know about it.
Mr. Bennett, if you know your wife say, you know what, I'm at a time in my life where sex is not important to me anymore.
Again, I'm not one to step out. That's just not who I am. So I'm not just going to go to another source. So again, we may be talking about, permanent separation at that point. If it's that, does that mean to me? Because to me, that's a bad. Now, look, the Bible calls for, again, abandonment. And to me, that's a form of abandonment, especially if there's nothing wrong with you physically, if there's nothing there that's preventing you or whatever, you just being cruel. That is a grounds. So I would rather pursue that, but I'm not. I just think that's just I just can't see it.
So you mean
I can imagine Mr. Bennett too.
I can't do it. I can't leave my wife. I couldn't leave her for that.
So you said for divorce. So you think that raises up a cause for divorce, abandonment of sex?
For me, yes. But never a call.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you crazy?
I wouldn't leave my wife for that. I wouldn't leave my wife for that, but she gonna know what's popping.
Yeah.
How can you say I'm cheating when you ain't the one sleeping with me? That's not cheating.
Ooh.
If anything, she's cheating on you.
He said, baby, you just got friendly pussy.
Especially like y'all said, if there's nothing physically wrong with her and it's malicious, right? And that was the example, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it a bean. That's just how I am. You're gonna go through what I'm going through. Fuck all that.
But you still would, even if she's doing it malicious.
Yeah. Let me explain because
go ahead.
Let me explain. Because like I said, sex is a part of it, but it's not the reason I'm here. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's something I need that. I need that. You see what I'm
saying? Turn your background off. You got no YouTube on.
I need that, right? But that's not the reason. That's not the only sole reason that I'm with her. It's like I said, man. Me and my wife, we've been 20 plus years, man. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that, right? So it's like I couldn't leave her for that. I couldn't leave her, but I'm gonna get my business handled. That's a fact, and she gonna know. She's going to know.
Yeah. Somebody at the door.
Gonna be some smoke in the city.
Oh well, right? Either you handle the business or the business is going to get handled. That's just the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, again, this is me. I ain't saying this is what y'all would do, right? That's not. But like I said, me and my wife, I believe that right at this point in our relationship, me and my wife is honest enough to have that conversation with each other.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that personally, I would say the same. I think I would walk through Central Park with Mr. Bennett on this one. I do think that if your wife denies you sex, I think, no matter how good things are outside of that, I just think that it's unnecessary. I think that's not what we agreed on. And I think that if you're in any type of biblical marriage or Christian marriage and you both have the same beliefs, there's no way possible that you could be a woman of God for me when you're rejecting me, what it is that God told me I could have, what's mine. And, and it simply says in the Bible that when we become one, your body belongs to me and mine to you. And I think that that rings true. And I don't think if you go against that, I can't see you the same. I can't see you as a godly woman. I can't see you doing anything godly. I can't see you helping people. I can't see you working in the church because like they said, the work has to be done at the house before it can be done for the church. And if you're at home denying your husband sex, but you're at the church clapping and singing every Sunday, being an usher, helping him serve the food, helping the pastor, being the secretary, doing all this stuff at the church, and your husband dick is dried in sandpaper at a beach, no, that don't work. I don't think I don't even think God is going to even be blessing any of that, like, to be honest with you.
You know what, black man? Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
If my wife decided she wasn't going to have sex anymore, you know what I would do?
What's that?
I would take a leave of absence from work and see about my woman. I really would, because there's a medical issue somewhere. And as the protector of my household, it is my sole duty to make sure that I go in and figure out exactly what's going on with her. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to stop working and call my boss and be like, hey, look, I ain't coming back and work until I get this straightened out with my wife. Now I will let her know.
With the pussy.
Hey, I'll let them know. Hey, look, something's wrong. I got to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? There is something absolutely wrong. It's a family emergency. I can't come back to work, and that lets her know. Look, hey, I'm thinking about you. Whatever it is you're going through, we're gonna take care of it. Now we'll let you know, baby. The money ain't gonna be the same. That 100% money coming in ain't gonna be like it ain't gonna be like the 100%. It might be that 60%. We gonna have to make sure we get this thing taken care of. We ain't gonna be able to do the things we used to do. We ain't gonna be able to handle some of the things we used to handle. But I'm gonna let her know nothing is more important to her than me, than her. You see what I'm saying? And I'll let her know that we're gonna work through this together, because that's what we get married for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope she gets what I'm putting down. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not neglecting what I'm doing.
Aren't you manipulating her to be something she doesn't, to do something or something she
I am not,
do?
Ricky. We are going to the doctor. We're going to handle this seriously.
Witchcraft.
I'm sure that there's something medically wrong that I want to make sure that her health comes first, and she is number one on my list to make sure that we get her taken care of. I'm giving love and honor to my woman to make sure that she's okay. And that's how it
Lost, is this reverse psychology?
No, it's not.
It sounds like it.
No,
It sounds like it.
It's the responsibility of a husband to take care of his wife.
I hear you, but if you gonna quit your job, okay, I got you. I'm not gonna give it up.
Let me tell y'all something, man. These jobs don't mean nothing to me. My wife gonna be there for me when my job ain't here. You know what I'm saying?
Though, see, so what y'all saying is that it's all about the circumstance, right? It's not about the act, right?
No. So, my wife's health is in jeopardy.
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. I got you, big guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm over here smiling when you're talking, right? But no, what I'm saying is, right. So let's say your girl had an accident, right, and something happened that she could be no longer intimate physically.
Oh, that's a totally different situation.
I'm gonna still be there,
right? So that's what I'm saying, right?
Right,
but that's what I'm saying.
That's why I was asking you if your wife maliciously just withheld sex from you, just took it off the table because just out of spite or just out of whatever, she just being uncooperative, and yet not necessarily anything that you did, but she just stopped. So again, is there's a reason, and it's a selfish one. It's not health related. It's not, because again, I think me and our Panther, we talked about this. I mean, look, we're old enough now where our ladies, they've gone through that menopausal state, and we know what happens there and all that kind of stuff. We get that. But you talk about a woman in her 20s, 30s, or 40s, and she's just like, and the crazy thing about it is, like, she was, before you guys got married, even though you necessarily shouldn't be doing that, but not judging that, I'm just saying, before she was freak of the week, but then after you get married, then it just like on a decline. First year, second year, third year, it just declines down to where it's like, it's like I said, holidays and weekends. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm saying in that kind of situation is more so what I was addressing. But if she's got like a serious, a medical something that's going on with her, or something that needs to be addressed, and like Lost said, I would do whatever's necessary to help her get through that, more so for her own mental health. And God forbid if anything happened to her where she was violated in any kind of way, then absolutely, we got to that's going to take some time, some serious work to get through.
You'd be in
something
prison,
like
though,
that.
Mr. Bennett.
What's that?
If somebody violated, we'd be in prison.
Yeah. Well, see, if I'm in prison, I can't help her.
Oh yeah, I'm not. But my wife get violated. So I'm going to prison.
I'm going to jail.
You can't help her.
Oh yeah, I'm going straight to jail.
I'm going to jail.
I'm going.
How you going to help her though?
I'm going to jail. I help her. I help her in 3 to 5.
Talk about the rest of her life.
That's what you're gonna get for manslaughter.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, you get 3 to 5 for manslaughter in
Texas.
Texas.
You're gonna get 3 to 5 for manslaughter.
Oh, Texas, y'all. Nah, I'd be like, no, what's that movie? No Mercy. What was that with Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
You guys raped the daughter, and they were like, not guilty. So yeah, you may get off.
Beautiful Anime Speaks asked a question. She said, "Is it cheating if she knows he's with someone else, and why?"
Yeah, it's still cheating. Just because they know don't make it no better. Just because someone's aware don't make it no better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what it would be. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Well, let me ask this question to the ladies. Is it if it's not a medical condition? Because I actually saw a talk show where a lady said she was raised to believe, this goes back to what Mr. Bennett said earlier about teaching about sex early. She was raised to believe that sex was solely for the creation of life. And once her and her husband decided not to have any more children, she decided not to have sex anymore.
She's lying. She's lying.
Did she have sex before she got married?
She was a virgin.
She's still lying.
Never
Sound
know.
like she's standing on business to her.
You never know. People are different. You never know.
Yeah. She said her mom taught her that sex was solely for the creation of life. And as she met her husband, and it was an arranged marriage, you know how they do. What's the people that wear the damn shit? I can't remember.
The Amish people.
Like, yeah. And she said her sex was solely for creating a life. And once they stop having babies, there's no need for sex anymore.
So again, like I said, if it's situational, then that's I just couldn't see. I'm just being honest. Like if that was the case, I can't see destroying a family for something like that. Not on my part anyway. You know what I'm saying? Now if she's trying to have sex with somebody else, that's totally different. That's a problem. That's a problem. If that's the case, the door, where the door at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But otherwise, like if it come on, man, I can't see it. Like people so quick to throw people be so quick to throw their life away for a disagreement, especially when y'all supposed to be two adults and can talk about it and come to a reasonable understanding between both people. Me personally, like I said, with my wife and where we're at in our relationship, I would think that if she thought to make that decision, she would know what I'm going to do already.
Right. But even the scenario that you named, I mean, that should have been a conversation long time ago, because she said she was raised with that.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're dating this woman, and you should know then that's her belief, and then you have to then make a decision. Do you want to be with someone? Okay, you're gonna have your 3 kids or how many kids you're gonna have, and if you go into it willingly knowing that sex is gonna stop at some point, then that's on you. But if she's just gonna spring that on you, years later and said, "Oh, I believe this the whole time," then you were being dishonest. You weren't being but that's also why it's so important when we talk about vetting, when we talk about dating. You have to get to these substantive questions early and not just be so enthralled because how good she looks or he's what he does or whatever. Not have the serious conversations that need to be had. If you are into certain sexual things or whatever, you need to make that known up front. Or don't even bother going, by the second, third date, whatever. I'm not saying you got to sleep together, but I'm just saying the conversation,
the understanding.
Yeah.
And so, Mr. Bennett, let me just say real quick, because I just got up here, Mr. Bennett. So that kind of conversation sounds kind of innocuous, right? I mean, if she doesn't offer that up to him to let him know beforehand, I don't know how many men would ask that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say she did that, and so what you just said is correct. If he knew going in, great. But I don't know if the woman would lead with that. And I don't know how many men would think that at some point she's going to stop wanting to have sex with me because all her kids are out.
Mm-hmm.
So I need more context to that story. But before I shut up, sister, take heed. You got to go, and if you have to read it 1,000 times, read 1 Corinthians chapter 1 through 7, and forget about putting any more emphasis in the closet about what you think about your husband. Just keep reading that. If you need to,
I was just joking. I
know you were. I know you were, but I wouldn't even voice that.
I love making love to my husband because he watches.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
What RBN said, he said, Rick, do you understand how many people don't communicate in good faith? Yes, I do. Right? That's why I don't hang around a lot of people. Right? Me and my wife, like I said on the other show, I don't have to like y'all. As long as my wife know I love and like her, that's all I really worry about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I understand that this is what freaks me. This is really what weirds me out about people, right? How y'all can live with a person for years, right? And then say they just switched up on y'all. That is insane to me. That really means you weren't paying attention when y'all say that. Y'all know that, right? That's really what y'all be saying.
Absolutely.
Right? Contrary to I understand what people say. Stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? Big event stuff that make people see life a different way. But I know my wife and she knows me. This is why I fight when people say you should never get comfortable. You're with a mate to become comfortable with them. You're with them so you can be yourself, so you can be comfortable around them. Yep. I know my wife. This ain't no 5 years, 7, 20 plus years. I know her and she knows me. Right? Y'all gonna realize once you really get past, when y'all get past the bullshit, right? Right? Them lies stop. Them lies stop. Right? And you trying to be something that, and like I said, it's okay. You want to put your best foot forward. Right? And I know we talking to a lot of 30 somethings and 20 somethings. Like I told y'all, I did the work already that y'all talking about. That work's been done. Right? So y'all keep talking, putting your best foot forward. No, it's some things. I'm 50 years old. It's some shit I ain't gonna be able to do. Right? My wife understands that. Right? But we live in this space. I ain't gonna say we, you other motherfuckers out here in the world that's better than me, right? Y'all live in this fantasy land, right? That people are constantly approving, right? And look, that's not life. That's not real. You don't have enough time for that shit between bills and kids and traveling and getting shit done. Become comfortable with who you are. The problem is why y'all want people to change so much is because you're not comfortable with who you are as a person. So instead of you being you, you want to make the whole world around you change to something you like. I love me. Right? With all my imperfections and the regrets I have and the target goals I had that I'm not gonna hit them. This is how life works.
Yeah.
You know what? Who was that said that somebody has sex only to procreate? That was a mental thing, man. Because what happens is in situations like that every time you have sex and a baby falls out, that's traumatic, man. Especially if somebody taught you that. You know what I'm saying? Baby, come on here, let me be a good thing. I had a baby and I was stressed out. You know what I'm saying? And I was pregnant and walking around feeling bad, throwing up. That's a bad association. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's one of those things that's a conversation that needs to be had between a husband and a wife. And that whatever her mom taught her, she needs to throw that out the window because she married her husband and not her mama. So
but
whatever you agree with,
from even religious institutions. I mean,
right.
Catholic Church, by and large. I mean, they're not that hardcore with it, but it is that is a primary tenet. You have some of these more conservative bodies,
right,
that do preach that stuff. So yeah, it's people don't just make this stuff up on their own. It sometimes comes from these religious sources.
Right. But like I said earlier, that's something that you and your husband need to talk about. Go ahead, take heed. I ain't mean to step on your toes, darling. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm just running my mouth. So when I hear stories like this, when you hear horror stories of couples being married for like 20 something years, or either 5, 6 years, 7 years, and they don't know how to touch each other, my heart weeps. My heart weeps. My heart cries out. I'm like, wow. And when I look at my husband, when I look at my king, and I say, could I ever really stop touching this man? Like one day just wake up and be like, I don't want you to touch me no more. Could I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like when I hear stories like this about some of the brothers who always hit me up in an email or a DM, and they be like, sister, pray for me. This is what I'm going through, and this and that. And I'm like, wow. Can you imagine being in the same household with somebody that they just getting out the shower, buck naked? You can't even touch them. You can't even touch them because the other person is being selfish. Did I say selfish? That's what I meant. Yeah, selfish. Because for you to be married that long and that you have been through wars with this person, y'all have been through hurricanes and tornadoes, and for you not to even have compassion to want to make love to this person, compassion and understanding, and want that sexual healing. I don't understand that part. I never understand that part. I don't even want to ever get there. As old as I am, as old as my husband is, I never want to get there. I never do. It's sometimes when you hear these things, it sounds painful. I never want to get there a day in my life. I love making love to my husband. Even when I be like, oh, I'm tired, you know, I did so much today. And all he got to do is just hit me right there, boom. Right there. There's a problem here. I just love that part about him. And the stuff that I heard tonight, I know he laughing upstairs because I have done some strange things for change. I have done some strange things. I have done stuff that people like, you too old to be doing that. I have done some things. Okay? I'm not ashamed. Yes, I'm not ashamed of the things that I do. And yes, I'm fresh, even though I'm old. Okay? I like it. So I mean, it is what it is. Okay? I felt like a heathen earlier. I just want to let that know. Clement said I was a heathen before. Clement, yes, I was a heathen. I'm still a heathen. My husband knows that. Okay? Trying to call me out, Clement. Thank you.
But
I'm done.
The fact that your husband gives you the safe space to be a heathen or to do whatever you want is very important, because some women, I think, hold back because their men are judgmental or they may think different of them. So when a man or a woman, I'm not going to gender base it, makes it a safe space for a person to be their sexual self, I think it becomes a beautiful thing. And I've heard of women stop giving away the box after the honeymoon. After the honeymoon, I spoke to a couple divorce lawyers, and that's crazy because, and you guys always know that I'm going to preach this. Sex to men is a physical need. It is just like water and food to them. And if women recognize the physicalness and the neediness of what sex means to a man and in their health, prostate cancer, high blood pressure, stress, it's important. It's not just for a good feeling. It's for a lot of reasons across the board. And for a woman to hold out on that, it's shameful. And you know what? I hate to say it like this, but don't be surprised if you get cheated on. Okay? Don't be surprised, because what is a man supposed to do? Sit there and suffer in silence and suffering blue balls for 3, 4, 2 years and be okay with that shit? No.
But Grace, I'm gonna share something with you. I think what plays out in my mind, right, is that you remember I always tell people I was married at 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when my first husband had cheated, I remember he told me a man needs a housewife and he needs a hoe. And I remember saying in my mind, I played it back, and then when I got older, I said, if I get married again, I'm gonna be the housewife and the hoe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That we wear different hats all the time, and we have to be able to interchange them. And then it makes me think, and if I think this, I know men are gonna think this. If you're not giving sex to your husband, then who you giving it to?
But
are you really?
That leads me to a question.
I'm gonna share something with you, Grace. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, take heed. We had a question from International Quiet Storm. He says, take heed. Would you call that sexual abuse if you cut the yams off from your husband? Just wondering.
Segue.
Oh my God.
Cut the yams off. Come on. Is that abuse?
It's you know what? I'm gonna share something with you. It's abuse. It's abuse because I'm gonna share something with you. My husband has a high sex drive. He has a high sex drive. In his age that he is now, he has a high sex drive. So if I say to him, I'm not gonna, we not doing nothing. Like if I shut it down, I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna have all types of women running in my house and all that. I'm gonna have a problem. So he has a high sex drive in his age now. I told him, I don't know what we're gonna do when we get old, because you already a problem now. But the only good part about it is that I'm fresh. That's the problem too. So he got the high sex drive. I'm fresh. It goes. It matches.
That's right. It's matching.
You're sexual. You're compatible. You're sexually compatible, and that matters in a marriage. You can't marry the church girl if you like the stripper chick. You just can't. It's not going to work.
But Grace, my problem is I like being the whole part. I don't.
But that's okay. But you're being the whole part for your king. That's okay. Now I can see you being one of those 2024 hoes. That's different. But you're being a hoe for your husband.
I have to say this. Take Heed is the only person on this panel who had us in silent shock for like 30 seconds when she told us the story.
She always does.
Listen, nobody could say that.
I just walked back up to the panel.
With you.
Right, I just walked back up to the panel. I said, "How the hell we get here?"
Black man,
we done let Take Heed
into this Amish relationship where you only get sex when you get ready to make kids.
I'm not going to give no more pussy if I'm giving you all your children, okay? No more pussy for you, okay?
Let's get Anissa in here, man. She's been awfully quiet over here.
Anissa on that damn John Legend right now.
That's right.
Swishing her wine.
I'm telling you.
Crushing her grapes.
Some of some wine, I'm in love with you. This ain't the honeymoon. Pass the open bottle phase. Come on in here, Anissa. Talk to us.
I think all wives should feel like Take Heed. I see absolutely nothing wrong with anything that she said. The old adage is definitely true. You want a lady in the sheets, and you want a freak in the sheets, or a hoe in the sheets, or whatever.
All that.
That marriage is to be enjoyed by husband and wife. So whatever you want to do, whatever you're into, the marriage bed is undefiled. Whatever enjoyment you guys can create with each other, it's totally, absolutely fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. So it's sad that people may not have that sexual compatibility in marriage, especially if marriage is supposed to be forever. that could definitely present itself to be a problem. And, you know, you gotta figure that out, you know, some way, somehow. But I think a big part of that is communicating before marriage. You can have those conversations to see how someone feels. You know, if someone felt like whoever that person that BMU was talking about, that felt that, you know, sex was just for having children, and if you're not having children anymore, you don't need to have sex. Like, those are things I think you should be able to ascertain before you get into a marriage relationship with someone, to see if you're compatible with this person. So I think that's very important to determine beforehand, to find out if you guys are meshed like that.
Thank you, Nessa. Mm-hmm. All right, Payne, let me ask you a question, man. What do you do when the rules have changed without your permission in situations like this?
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I haven't really experienced that, you know, when the rules for me in my marriage have changed. I know my wife went through some things, you know, shoot. I mean, I'm old enough to know a couple of nights where I had to have extra stimulus and shit, you know?
Right.
So, but you know, that's why they have OBGYNs, whatever you call them, goddamn things, right? You know, if she has to go through that, yeah, there's stuff for that to get over the menopausal period where you're not, you know, not flowing around. But we already talked. My wife has always been accommodating. I mean, she just always have been. And so, you know, with my footprint for having sex, she was there, and I'm a little older, so I don't need it as much, right? That's just me, you know. Now the Take Heed is talking about, oh man, I got to go in the gym and shit and get some of that shit back, you know. And she's talking about, you know what I'm saying? No, but you know what? We just
get you some more
you know, it's
potassium,
funny. I don't know.
coconuts.
Let me just answer it this way. I'm gonna just land it. At my age, right? I'm just thinking that as long as things work, I'm happy, right? But I don't need it as much. But me and my wife, we touch each other in one way or the other every single day. Every single day. You know, and still, you know, it's not always sexual, but it's just always touching each other all the time. I have a little joke with her. I said, look, you want to get real passionate? A lot of times we go and rent a hotel room so we can get out of the house, the old surroundings. I said, listen, I thought I graduated from this. I still got to put money on the table and shit, you know, to get freaky. You know, so that's how we run the joke. But we you know, she got her bag. We get the bag loaded, man. We go hang out and get room service and shit. Just set the tone, and nobody's around, nobody's bothering us, and you know, we just have a good time. And we don't do that every time, but you know, I mean, I said, listen, we got to be able to do this at home and abroad, but it's always a little bit different. So you try to keep it spicy, but I'm surprised she still looks at me one way like I might have used to look, man. You know, so I can even take off my Idris Elba mask and shit. I can even turn the lights on once in a while and shit. Can I put a candle in the corner so I get some lights? She said, okay, honey, yeah, you slimmed down enough. I'm like, yeah, I'm not throwing up in the back of my throat. But so, I mean, we just, man, it's just, we're in the nirvana point of our life, you know, and I'm happy that it's the way it is, and I don't have those kind of problems that a lot of people do, and I just don't know how to say, you know, anything other than that. So that's why it's just, when I say this shit on these panels, I feel like I'm almost phony because nobody believes me.
Ain't nobody got to believe you,
I'm not
but
a
your wife,
unicorn.
man.
Let me tell you, I told y'all this before. I had a
Take care of
lady
your
kick me
unicorn.
off a panel, and because she says nobody wants to hear you and your 100-year marriage. Get off. And she swiped me off the panel for $20. And then I saw her on another panel. She was 24 years old. She was, I thought she was an older lady or something. She was 24 years old, man, thinking that way. She was a Gen Z. So I don't know. So sometimes I try to be, I'm kind of reticent in talking about my marriage a little bit because I don't think anybody believes me. Because everybody has turmoil up here for the most part on these panels.
Yeah.
My life has been, you know what? Thank God. I think my life has been bliss for a very long time.
You know what, our pain. I'm glad you said that, because I think sometimes people don't realize that we're surrounded by idiots. And I'm going to be real with you, man. If you get somebody like our pain that's got some wisdom, instead of paying $20 to get rid of him, you should be taking that man to lunch and picking his brain and figuring out exactly how can I get some of that wisdom. But we live in a generation that loves to glorify stupidity and call each other musicians and magicians and don't even know what the difference is. You know what I mean?
Can do magic.
Sometimes you just gotta let life whoop somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Let them do it on their own time. You know what I mean? But to be honest, man, I appreciate you, our pain, for coming up here, man, because we don't tell our older gentlemen enough. We appreciate them, and we don't give them enough honor. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you your honor today, because we need to make sure that we listen to people like you, especially if you want to get what you got. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and take the time out to get that to you, man. And back to Uncle Ricky. Yes, sir.
The light came on,
listen,
didn't
man,
it?
I'm telling you, Rick, let me tell you something, man. I appreciate you too, man, because a lot of times you don't get the recognition that you fully deserve with your salt of the earth commentary, you know, the common sense. And I don't think people give you flowers enough, man. I want to tell you, I appreciate you, man.
It's cool, man. I'm a black man in America. I'm used to it.
But it still got to be said, though, brother. I just want to let you know we appreciate you.
Man, it's like I just try to tell people, man, we got to think different, right? Like, especially when it's just crazy how closed-minded people are to hear views different of their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I said this the other day, like, I just asked questions. Like, my daddy wasn't in my life, but when we hung around, he dropped some gems on the ground for me to pick up, right? And like I said, I'll never forget when he told me, he said, "Boy, let me tell you something, right? If it don't make sense, it's not true."
Mm-hmm.
And I live by those words, because, like, if you ever been into it with your girl or anybody, right, and they tell you the story, you be like, that don't make sense. They lying.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these things that people I'm talking about, they base their relationships, their beliefs, their very lives off of. It doesn't make sense. The way we judge each other as male and females, and the requirements and the things that's supposed to be the standard to have you get with somebody, they don't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's the real problem with our people today. It's not the environment, it's not the system being against you, it's the way our people think.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Pick up a book before while you still can. God damn.
Absolutely.
Preferably the Bible.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick. I want to welcome everybody to the stage, the one and only Dr. Nakumbe. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm fabulous. How's my audio? Am I okay? I'm talking through the car speakers.
Sounding
good. You sound excellent, Dr. Nakumbe.
Awesome.
You sound excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us today.
That's a Jaguar.
Greeting to the panel, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to share in this space with you and for popping up last second here. And greetings to those in the chat. If it's possible, I just wanted to give one perspective. It may not match the full audience that you're talking to, but one additional perspective. I think I'm hoping we are all in agreement that mental health cases are going up. Doesn't necessarily mean those people have mental illness, but with social media, everyone is now telling what someone it is to have anxiety, telling people that they have depression. So the actual beliefs that I'm mentally ill or I have depression or I have anxiety, that's gone up. Now my page, one, I was gonna say you can research this, but if call relationship therapists or check with sex therapists, or even some doctors that deal with couples and then they refer them to sex therapists for what I'm about to tell you. On my page, I do what's called a psychological DNA. So premarital psychological DNA. It's almost like counseling before marriage, but I do a DNA to see a psychological DNA to see if you're even a good match. So you know going into this versus later saying, oh, I didn't sign up for this. But what I want to share, there's only a certain number of types of relationships. So you have the people who couldn't wait to get married and they don't mind going to Vegas on day one. We hear about those people like, y'all just met and got married, y'all fools. But we know there's a select number of people who do that. We know there are people who never, ever, ever planned to get married and somehow they got married. We know about the ones who, one always wanted to be married, one doesn't, but they didn't speak up. They were just trying to get the cheeks. And next thing you know, they're married. You have the one where the guy was all about the marriage. She wasn't, but she feels intimidated, doesn't know how to really say no, plays ball. There's only a certain number of these collective groups. But here's the group that we don't talk about much. The group that deals with all this phony stuff in the beginning, and it feels right because someone is telling me they love me. Someone is telling me they want me. But all I really want to do is secure them. So you have the guy who's not literally, but you have the guy who's putting his wife in this cabinet, locking it, and they're set. It's like they got lazy. They forgot what they signed up for. They don't even know how to be a husband. And it's like, what happened? Nothing. I got what I wanted. I got my wife because that was what I was told I was supposed to have. But there are endless amount of women that I work with who say, yeah, he doesn't have sex anymore. I can't even get him hard. I touch him, it's like I make him sick. I can come out the shower naked. And I've done all the liposuction and stuff. I did everything that I need to do to look right and be in shape. He doesn't. And if we do have sex, it's like 5 minutes, but he can spend 4 hours in the computer room. And in that computer room, he's not just checking email, but the stimulation from the deviance and the stimulation from an addiction has killed the marriage. You know people who have a home, and what do they say? I have to have an extra room. Why do they say that? I have to have a room where I can go and be by myself. I have to have a space where I can just have my own chill time. People are going into marriages with that idea of I just need an extra room, not for any foolery, but because I don't do well with people. So I hear what people are saying on the panel and in the chats about sexless marriages and how dare, and they need to, but for the population I'm talking about, it doesn't work that way. That mental illness kicks in, and I'll land my plane here soon. The addiction kicks in, depression kicks in. How many women have gotten married, doing well, have a child, and then postpartum depression hits and the whole relationship tanks? How many couples have gotten married and the guy lost his job, he had a midlife crisis or some sense of no purpose in life, and the whole relationship tanks? And now as we increase in society with this individualism, people, you know what I mean, men, their lives are tanking because what they knew what it was to be a man is no longer correct, and it is destroying them. And they don't know how many men have looked at their kids and is like, yeah, I don't know really what to do with you. Remember, we're talking about a high number of single parent homes raised by a mom. So we have fathers who are having kids who are looking at the little 4-year-old talking about, yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if we can't talk sports or something, I don't know what the hell to do with you. So in landing, please consider that other population where mental illness plays a role. There's people already saying, yeah, I have anxiety. And how does that play out in the relationship? First responders, our first responders, social workers who have to take kids out of parents' homes, firefighters, military, all of them have what's called vicarious trauma. I said I was going to land my plane. My apologies.
That's all right. Keep buzzing.
All right.
You cooking.
Vicarious trauma. Imagine an invisible backpack. Invisible. No one sees it. I don't even see it. But for every time I don't save a life, where does that trauma go? We're trained to turn it off and to run into a burning building. Teachers who work with poor kids and like, damn, I can't change their life. Nurses see life after life after life. Doctors lawyers, first responders, medical, EMT, all of them, military, all that stuff goes in this invisible backpack. And if they don't take care of that trauma, it plays out in their relationships. He or she or whatever can come home for hours into a video game and not even say hi to their woman. How in the hell does that happen? And when she comes over and touches him, way wrong answer. He has so much stimulus going on from all the chaos, 8 days on and 8 days off. It takes him about 4 days just to desensitize. He needs a weighted blanket, some blinders, and some Bluetooth headphones to decomp for at least an hour before he can even say hello. But they don't tell us these things going into the relationships. He's a firefighter. Look at the big muscles on him. But damn, we ain't fucked in a month. And it's not because he doesn't want her. He just can't desensitize. And then the freaks, is it that they really are all that, giving up all that booty and stuff and giving it all and giving? Some people, that's their addiction. So sometimes when we compare, and I'm not talking about everyone, I'm only talking about a small group. When if we get caught into comparisons, Valentine's Day, all the people telling me, look how happy they are. They were kissing in public. She was giving them head in the mall. Yeah, but
what does that goes, Doc?
Right. I mean, I'm like, well, wait, I want to see. But is it because that's what love is, or that's where their level of deviance? So I forgot who said it, but one of you said the partner has to, thank goodness that the partner is willing to allow that. So please talk to family, friends, docs, and ask them like, hey, why are these couples having problems? Why are they becoming sexless marriages? And I bet the number one answer is unresolved, undetected, because they haven't talked about it, mental health. And for those of you who say, well, I should know that up front. I agree with you, Arpain. Who meets someone for the first night talking about, what's up? Damn, you look hot. Now, just so you know, I'm an alcoholic. Is that going to be okay? Hey, damn, you look good. Now, I only have 2 inches and you have about 3 feet of ass. Is that going to be okay? How many women have one breast from cancer willing to say, just so you know, this is powder puff over here. Is that going to be okay? When do we say that? Bait and switch. It's not until we're deep in a relationship or you goof around and say, I love you, and we're too busy doing what our parents taught us. I love you. I love you too. And so now we're grown people talking about, well, you didn't say I love you first. So anyway, I'll land with that. Thank you for the space opportunity. Thanks. Again, I'm open to any questions or pushback. Just wanted to talk about that small population of people.
So that question, I'm about to start a little trouble with you.
You bet.
So my question is, with me being so sexually active with my husband, and I profess that on social media, is that like something like, is it something that plays in my psyche? That's why I'm like that?
Yes and no. Let's do the normal part, whatever considers normal. Some people, just the idea that they have someone that they love each other, that makes them moist right there. That's all I really need to know is I have a king who will take care of me and I'm moist on the go whenever he's ready, period. Then there's the other type of woman who, and this is where if you want, I can ask you if it's in your psyche. Here we go. How old are you roughly? Just roughly. Or pretend someone
mute and
let's say in your 30s, okay? So let's say you're 30. All right, so you're 30. Do us a favor, and you don't need to say it out loud. I just want you to think about it. When was the first time you experienced some type of desire to please a man? Not a husband, a desire to be dutiful. When was the first time you can ever remember a desire to be dutiful, not sexual? And how old were you?
I was a teenager.
Okay. So then psychology says, so this was even before you were married. So it is not about your husband. He's a good man, he's a king. But the actual, I'll lay it down for my husband. Awesome. You know, I mean, if it smells good, look, give it to him. But the idea of actually serving came way, way, way before marriage. It just came with you into, and then a lot of women, not you, because you come with confidence and you exude your confidence and your ability. But we have a large number of women out there where their body is their only tool. They use it as that's their tool. And as long as I can give it to him, he should be happy. And they really believe if they miss one night of giving it to him, she's in trouble. And that's different than I desire, my husband desires. He also knows if I'm down, I'll do anything I can. If I'm on my menstrual, I still have my hands, toes, and mouth. You know, he knows. But if it gets to the point where she's incapable and she fears so much that he's gonna, then that's more of a problem and is way, way, way before marriage. So I hope that makes sense.
Saying that I brought it along with me into my marriage. Like I always felt like that because I was
duty. Yeah, a duty. So like, let's just say you grew up with grandparents who you watch grandma serve, and grandma actually taught you, baby, this is how you cook, and this is how you get in there and wash clothes with your hands. And she taught it in the way that you are proud, like, oh, grandma, you know, and you learn these skills to cook. And then you watch mama, where she was proud. There was something you saw about the way she did it. It wasn't a chore. It was something she wanted to do. And so then you take that same enthusiasm into your marriage. King, what's up, boss? What can I do for you? I'm not talking about be your slave and do all that, but if you need me to, you want me to shake it like that? Watch this. I can just make that one cheek move. Watch this. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, see? Yeah, I love it. So, meaning you bring the desire. Yeah, you bring a desire to please naturally versus the desire for gain. Lazy as fuck, but I'll do whatever it takes so we can get that little extra so he can feel good and perceive and cheat him and lie on him and play with his psyche. So I say if it was that early teen that you can remember wanting to provide service, even to God. So if God is going to bring me my husband, my king, I owe you, boss. Thank you. So I'm here with my dutiful self, my body, for our family, Is the ones who might be 25 already talking about, yeah, I'm going to give him this ass. Okay, that's cool. But where's that from? Oh, well, see, I'm going to be honest. When I was 6 years old, this dude touched. When I was 8 years old, the family friend. And then unannounced to anyone, she was what they call early activated. So she had this drive now when she's 12, 13, 14, she has more body count than a 40-year-old because of the early activation. So that's a different story.
Appreciate it, Doc. Anybody else want to ask Doc any questions while we still have him up here?
We appreciate your boy.
Man, thank you again. That's just one perspective. If it doesn't land, no worries about it. I appreciate each and every one of you bringing your perspective, doing what you do.
Doc, man, thanks for coming up yesterday, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, brother. That's what it's about. So each one of you take care of yourselves and be well.
Doc, before you go, man, you and all black with a skull cap on in the dark. Don't.
Right.
Who
you about to rob?
Okay, don't
I know.
On the heist. Yeah. No, I'll be good.
Actually, my man. Who was it? Denzel and what was that movie? He's the bad cop.
Training Day.
Yeah, you kind of
yeah.
You about to psychiatrist ain't got shit on me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, somebody got some.
Doc is Alonzo tonight.
Yeah, Alonzo tonight. Yeah. I put this on when I try and prove that I got a wild side too. I hear, and they're like, oh, doctor, like, yeah, let's play house or something. Give me that.
I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake.
Yes. Yeah.
Man,
All right, you guys. You bet.
All
right, peace out.
All right,
take care.
And I want to lighten the mood a little bit for just a second. I want to take a quick commercial. I was in the background, messing with a few buttons, and if I had about 3 hours, this would be perfected.
Go to hell. I already know what's about to happen.
But I'm about to play. I signed a new artist to Good Enough Records, and his name is Mr. Bennett. Here we go.
Again, look, I'm not one to step out. That's just not who I am. That's not who I am. Permanent separation at that point.
Say amen.
Was that me in the back door? Some
Yep. Mr. Bennett, if I had
another hot track from B&B Records, you know what I'm saying?
That was great.
Dropping them hot tracks.
Oh,
there you go,
bro. But man, listen, man. I think that tonight was a great conversation. I think that everybody's perspectives were good. Ricky, thank you for. I wanted to say the same thing. Pretty much piggyback on Lost in Translation. Everybody on this panel tonight has a great perspective. And I'm glad that everybody was able to get their perspectives out without argument or, you know what you be hearing across the net. And so I'm glad that we have a group of mature people here who can have the conversation, who can disagree and agree to disagree. And I'm forever, grateful to you guys. And Ricky, man, thank you for what you do, brother. Keep telling the truth. Our Pain was he was a waiter on the Titanic, and he's just stuck with the world until he got to the internet. So thank you so much, Our Pain. I appreciate you. Mr. Bennett, same thing. Thank you for your perspective. JT,
I still want to kick that girl's ass for not letting me get on that plane.
Man.
Hey, point her out, Pain. We're gonna crew up.
We'll take care of it. Yeah.
We'll take over the platform.
JT will be cooking tomorrow night. So man, make sure you tune into to JT. He's gonna be doing some reviews tomorrow. So make sure you tune into that. Take heed to the message every morning. Come on. Take heed to the message is killing every morning. Embrace the grace. You Thursday, right? Embrace.
Thursday nights, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Well, really?
Thursday night. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah, I'm on Gracie's channel a lot now, and she's
got
it going on over
absolutely. There. And Anissa with the wine of the day, of the night. John Legend. What you said had a hint of penis. What did you said something?
Look at Rick.
He couldn't even
you
couldn't even keep a straight face with that one right there, man.
It just Rick is like, what the hell? But man, thank you so much, Anissa, for you coming on and giving your perspective and giving us the wine of the day. Next week, I'm gonna have you. As soon as I say wine of the day, I'm gonna have your intro ready to go. All right. So thank you, man. You guys, I'm just lost in translation. My brother from another mother. Thank you so much, my guy. I appreciate you, man. You are truly a brother, man. You and JT and Mr. Bennett, man. You bald head. Well, no, not you. Lost. You got some hair, but these other niggas. I just want to put that out there. This is for all the people that got bald heads that took over the BMB network. We just want to throw all of you off the cliff.
Long ass hair.
Undefeated. We're undefeated.
Politically free.
What are them long hair motherfuckers?
Hey man, but listen, I do want to say the sports show is tomorrow. Mr. Bennett is a part of that 4-man team over there.
Oh, this is depressed. It's going to be the most depressing show of the year. Just the first week without the NFL.
Talking about that whack ass damn All-Star weekend, man. That was trash.
Yeah, NBA is trash, bro.
That shit dying like goddamn hip hop.
It's dead. It's dead.
It ain't gonna be no
basketball. I blame LeBron James, man.
I do too.
Going all the way back 20 years ago.
Yep. LeBron would have participated like Mike and Dominique.
Nah. I'm talking about the game, period, bro. He got way too much pull in the league, man. They fashioned the game all around his style of play, bro. Like,
I
feel your pain, Ricky. I know what you're talking about, boy.
And
I
love
basketball, bro.
Me too.
Just give me creative permission. Creative permission to redo the entire All-Star weekend. I would have the best WNBA team playing against the best boys high school team. I would have the best dunkers from around the country come and challenge the dunkers of the NBA. I would have basketball teams, because there are some guys out there that are on the NBA level that will never get an opportunity. Have them come in and play against the All-Stars. I mean,
shout out to Rutgers.
Yeah, just to spice that damn thing up.
I get rid of it. I get rid of the All-Star game.
Just
for most of it, yeah. I mean, the 3-point contest always delivers for me, and I liked it when they had the Curry and the woman going against each other. But the dunk contest is trash, man. Ever since Zach LaVine and Gordon, that was the last time it was.
That was the last good one.
That was it.
Yeah. Didn't the Joker? Didn't Jokovic? Didn't his ass win last year? Some shit like that.
No,
was it
no. Last year it was they got Billy Ho off the street. Billy Ho from White Man Can't Jump. He got this guy literally off the street, basically. McClung or something like that.
I know some high school kids that would have ate their ass up, bro.
Yep, commissioner. That's what I'm saying. Like, like the WNBA. What's the lady's name? It was a WNBA star. And the guy said, "You know what? I know a high school team right now that just won the state championship will come and beat your ass by 50." And she said, "You crazy? We're professionals." Shit, I believe it. I've seen that team, bro. I believe them boys will come in and whoop their ass, bro.
We need to have that. We need to have that. We need to have Carissa Shields fight fight whoever she want to fight.
I'm gonna say this before we get out of here, Mr. Bennett. What's the other boxer's name? Who's boxing right now? Real beautiful girl. Oh, she pretty.
You talking about Alicia Baumgardner?
Yeah. Yeah. She is coming back. She was she had was suspended for a while because she failed the drug test. I think she won her appeal though, so she should be back in.
Yeah, I want to see her and Clarissa go. That'll be a good.
That's too big, man.
Clarissa don't want to fight her.
30 pounds,
Clarissa can make 147.
Yeah, she can make 147.
She can make 147. She don't want to.
Yeah, she's too big though, man. She's
but she was like Baumgartner's like 135, right?
No, she's right now, right? But she walk around at like 150.
Yeah.
147 ain't no problem. Clarissa, look, I'm telling y'all, man. Clarissa is a sucker for a straight right hand and a left hook behind it.
Yes,
right.
She can't take it. She still got a glass jaw.
That's where Alicia gonna catch that. She know, like, man, Alicia.
What's her first name? Alyssa?
Alicia Baumgardner.
Alicia. Okay, I got you.
She's from Michigan. Yeah, man. She don't want no smoke.
And she can fight too.
From Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how come Baumgardner don't go up? Maybe she go up and wait.
Why should she? No, this is boxing. Y'all way out y'all depth on this. This is boxing, right? Right. Listen to what I'm telling you, right? Because there's nobody up there worthy of her to fight to get the money where she's going to get at 135. Right? Boxing is business first. Y'all got to remember, in boxing, the fight is just the nut. Right? That business got to get done first before anybody get the fucking. Right? So she's down at 135 because that's where the money's at. Right? She want to fight Clarissa because that'll be the biggest fight. That'll be the biggest fight in women's.
That'll be her apex.
So they got to get to a catch weight.
No, Clarissa made 147 before.
Yeah.
Well, if you say she's 135, she got to go up to 147.
That's no problem. No fighter.
That's called a catch weight, though.
No fighter fights at their walk around weight. Right?
None.
So Clarissa, and she's done it before. She just won't do it for Alicia. She's fought at 147. The next fight was at 154. The next one was at 160. Then she came back down to 154. Clarissa has no problem making the weight. She just don't want to fight Alicia Baumgardner. She'll go in there and get beat up by Keith Thurman because at the end of the day, it's a dude versus a woman, right?
Yeah.
But she will also gather a big payday. Y'all got to remember, Clarissa
with that.
Yeah, Clarissa just started getting like crazy paydays, right? Like in her last fight or so. So they know what it is, man. Boxing ain't about size; it's about skills. Now it's weight classes for a reason, right? But I honestly believe if she came down to if Clarissa fought Baumgartner at 147. I honestly believe. I'm not saying Alicia gonna beat her, but I think this will be the toughest fight she ever had.
Yeah,
they're gonna go to distance. I think they go to
They
distance.
usually do. You don't have a ton of knockout artists in women's boxing. But
I don't think has Carissa ever. She ain't never knocked nobody out.
no,
she did early in her career.
Her early years,
but,
yeah.
But these girls she been fighting now 12, 10 rounders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dang. Well,
You know, she's from Michigan, so I root for her every once in a while.
Well, and you know what? It's Clarissa's a very beautiful girl. Look very nice. She yeah. But
she's a handsome young man.
But man,
oh man, stop it.
I love to watch her walk away though.
That's her. That's her right there.
That's Alicia Baumgartner right there.
Yeah.
I love to see Clarissa walk away though.
And we'll beat the break your ass.
Yeah, they say she got a deadly right.
I like to see Take Heed slap the shit out of her.
Get
your ass over
here. I love to watch Clarissa walk away though, boy. She holding back there. She got a great behind her.
She's definitely
you said he's got just sexualized the toughest girls.
That's
what we do. That's what we do, man.
Hey, R-Pain,
when we watch basketball, it's the same shit.
I got you, R-Pain. Behind every boss chick is a dude hitting it from the back. Bro.
I'm not getting on your case. That's what we do. We can see something in old women, man. That's just a bottom line. It's a bad thing.
But you know what though? You have to admire what God.
Ain't nobody bending Kamala over, bro. Somebody bending Kamala over.
That vice. Good God Almighty.
The world we live in.
Good God Almighty.
Like, man, we having a barbershop, man, Friday.
Barbershop, yeah.
What the hell?
That's what today is. We just turned it to barbershop.
We ain't got it up. You see, I had to.
I know. I just say something for Friday, man.
You know what? Yeah, we say something Friday. Let me tell you this. We can get out of here. Even at her in her heyday, Serena Williams. Like we have to start acknowledging beautiful, black, voluptuous, intriguing.
We did, and she went to the other side, bro. Next one, bro.
What did Jamie say? Let me be your tennis ball.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was at Serena for a minute, bro.
JT, do you remember that tennis match when she was going back and forth with old girl, and old girl hit one way out, and Serena jumped and just went right into the splits and hit the fucking ball?
Yeah, she was showing her. She was showing out on that one, bro. She was feeling herself on that one.
But just imagine those white people at the thing. They're watching the game. They're watching the tennis match, and Serena go up and hit the ball, and you see this. I mean,
sheesh. I tell you what, though.
I be playing it off. I be like, that's a nice Puma.
That's
a really nice.
Like it. I don't understand what it is about that Puma outfit.
This look like this barbershop tonight.
This barbershop right now is so funny.
At the barbershop, we be cutting up.
You know, we would go off the rails in a minute. We be in the middle of arguing and go off the rails now. Don't you don't know, sis.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you and Embrace the Grace a question real quick. We're gonna get out of here. If you guys decided to have a content creator, all female outing to encourage women to be better wives, and you had women come out in their swimsuits and they come out and talk to you
in their swimsuits,
and one of the ladies walk up to you and Embrace the Grace, and she said, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And it's this young lady right here. Embrace.
Hell no. I'm gonna dress you the way you dress. Hell to the fucking no. No.
What are you saying?
Take the heat, gonna have to pull me away.
My chest hurt.
Take Heat, what are you saying to her? She said, "Hi, Miss Take Heat. How are you?"
Oh. Hell no.
I'm a big girl and I shave. That's not. I don't understand that.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
She wouldn't gotten through the front door. She wouldn't gotten past security.
But guess what, Take Heat? While you over there trying to take a picture of her, our pain gonna be over there like this.
Are you out your?
That's the work husband.
There is movement out there. Ladies going back to the natural. They doing the armpits. They doing everything.
Yeah,
No,
they are.
no shave club. That is
She
a
gonna
real
shock.
thing.
She gonna shock you every time you touch her walking on the carpet.
I know.
They said it's
like
more
Christy.
healthier. They said it's more healthier.
Yeah, boy. But
But the aesthetics.
I don't know.
Wait, what's more healthier, Heath?
With the hair.
Oh no, no, it's not. It grabs odor and sweat and bacteria.
You know the dude,
My beard
the dude who does the street interviews. The dude who does the street interviews was asking random women how often they shave.
Yeah,
don't be surprised. One lady said, "Man, it's been like 17 years." You know, she said, "This again."
I'm not coughing up no fur balls at the conference meeting.
Our at this point, she got sea moss.
That's right.
But that is a movement. These girls are going back to the
You
natural.
don't want no woman to open her legs up and it smell like skunk sweat. Listen.
Damn. Skunk sweat.
Skunk sweat. You know, do y'all remember Soul Men when
I'm
when
dead.
they're opening their legs up and Bernie Mac say, "Damn, you need a pee." All right, man. I love y'all, man. I love having fun with y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Take heed in the morning. What time you going on in the morning, sweetheart?
9:30.
Okay.
She's gonna be calling.
I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm coming tomorrow.
9:30. Embrace the grace. Tell them your time.
You going to call out the Bears?
Thursday night, 8:00, final theme show for Black History Month is the importance of keeping the melanated money in the melanated community.
Okay.
So,
Ricky Williams, Ricky, when are you going to do something, man? I know you were doing music on at one time, and you
I
had
gotta catch Ricky. I gotta catch
Nope,
you on
that
Rick.
stop. That stop. I'm doing a revamp. It's crazy. I sent my. I got this firm doing my graphics, but they messing around, so it's taking a little longer than I'm used to. But I got some stuff coming up. Y'all hold tight. But it's taking longer than I thought.
Is it gonna be on? Is it gonna be on Rumble or Patreon?
No, it's on
or what?
YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yeah, but I started back. I took a week off. I did make sure when I go. If y'all really want to catch me, it's at lunchtime, Central Standard Time between 11 and 1. The Truck Chronicles.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm a working man. I got to get out here and get this paper. But
doubt.
I'll be in a truck. Y'all really should watch my video that I did the other day. Thanks to my sister. She watched it.
Yeah, it was good.
It's absence abuse, right? I heard I didn't heard 3 women use the runoff, right? That absence is abuse, and that it's how can I abuse you if I'm not there?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
the lack of presence, the lack of spending time together, the lack of interaction.
Understood. But if we gonna have this discussion, right, I have to be there first to give you that, to take something away from you, correct?
Yeah.
Right. It's the old adage, right? So, and again, let me tell y'all how I present this to what I'm saying, right? And again, I use what I'm examining is what people use to establish and use as their excuse to either start or end a relationship. So how I did this, I figured this out in my head because I try to get people to understand how I think, right? So in our community, right, I've heard a million times Black women say, and people say that you don't need a man to raise a child, right? I can do this by myself. I'm Superwoman, right? But then I hear the same women saying that absence is abuse, right? So is the Black man valuable or not? Does his presence hold weight or not? Because if I'm there, have y'all ever heard this? Y'all ever heard somebody say this? Well, you might as well go because you ain't doing me no good here.
Yeah. You don't bring no value to my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you heard some shit like this, and I know y'all heard this. I'd rather the father just not come around. That way they not hurting my kids.
I just did a show
by being inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Right. So is that abuse, or a man just leaving and not being there, period, abuse? Right? how can you say I'm abusing you and the children when I never gave you something to use as an example to abuse you with? Abuse means, now if y'all want to be real and be honest about the situation, you can say I'm neglecting you. I'm neglecting my responsibility. But everybody knows abuse is a trigger word. It has a stigma with it.
Right.
Yep.
So how can I not be there and abuse you?
That's manipulation.
I gotta be there to whoop your ass, right? If it's financial abuse, I've got to be there to be able to show you I got money and buy something and then take it away.
Yep.
Misuse. Yeah.
Women just use the abuse word, man, so they can get their way in court and all that stuff. All they got to do is just mention it, and then the man is at a disadvantage.
But this our paying fellas, this is what I'm saying, right? These are the very attacks. What I do, and people don't want to give me credit for, I dismantle these attacks on a daily basis. Right? So if our women are understanding, the modern woman is understanding that absence is abuse, why y'all not staying with y'all baby's daddies?
Oh, that's nasty.
Trying to make it work.
That's nasty.
You can say when I leave, right, for whatever reason, because they never tell you the reason. It wasn't the kids, right? It's just I didn't really want to deal with your ass. Then why do y'all continue to abuse your children? Because when I leave and I leave the children, I'm abusing them. I just want people to make it make sense to me, and nobody can. But every time we have a conversation, you hear about somebody else's relationship, you hear about a divorce or a separation coming or going on. These are the attacks that women put on men on the daily.
You know what, Rick?
I'm definitely going. Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
No, Rick, you're right. Instead of them saying, "I need you," you know what I'm saying, and using their words, they use the excuse that you're abandoning me, you're abusing me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be humble. If you want what you want, you got to humble yourself. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what we're looking at. They're using that as a form of manipulation tactic to get what they want. That's exactly what that is.
Thanks.
You know, I'm gonna share something with y'all real quick. When I was younger, I always used to hear my mother tell my stepfather that he ain't shit, she don't need him, she could do bad without him. You know what I'm saying? I could do bad all by myself. That's the Black woman anthem, right? I could do bad all by myself. And the stuff that I heard my mama say to my stepfather, and he was a good man, but the stuff I heard her say to him, I can't even fix my mouth to say to my own husband. I would never want to say those things to my husband. I would never want to say, I don't need you. I could do bad all by myself. I could raise these kids without you. I can't even fix my mouth to say it. You want to know why? You don't want to know why I can't? Because when I look at my king, I see that it might be too deep. But when I look at my king, I see that I can't live without him. I ain't even gonna lie. I can't even sit up here and be like, yeah, I'm gonna make it without him.
Yes, that's what I be saying. Nonsense. Oh my God, that's what I be saying. It's like this. How do people just throw their fucking life away, bro? People throw their life away for I just feel it this way. You throw your life away for a feeling in a misunderstanding. Right now, I know a relationship. This is close to in my immediate circle, right? They getting a divorce for a fucking misunderstanding from 16 years ago. Right? And they don't look at it like that when I tell them that, right? It's, oh, they did this. I said, everything y'all did to each other stemmed off that one fucking event that y'all had a misunderstanding about. Yeah. And now y'all too stuck in y'all ego and pride to sit down and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Happens all the time.
I just can't fix myself to say that because, oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was going to ask you, Miss. The questions, Takey. So what do you, between you and Ricky, because I was listening to both of y'all. So when you do hear the women out there saying that, Ricky, because I've heard women do that too, say, I don't want the marriage anymore. I'm so caught up in things that happened so many years ago, and I just couldn't find myself letting it go, and it just keeps triggering me, and I just can't be with you anymore. You know, I heard a woman tell her husband, what was it? Goddamn it, it was at a marriage conference thing, and the woman was being honest, and she didn't want her marriage. What did she say? She said, "Oh, he doesn't bring any value to my life anymore."
That's a gut punch. That's a gut and a nut punch.
And I was
that
like,
shit hurts.
damn. And they were trying to, they pulled him up on stage and tried
when
to
I
help
hear
him.
that, when I
Bro,
hear
that's to destroy that man. That shit
when
destroys
I hear
man.
that, when I hear that, I already know she's a fucking liar, bro. And I can tell you why. Right?
Yep.
Because y'all really need to go watch my Truck Chronicles for real though, y'all. Like, that's why I be laughing, BMU, when y'all show these clips from these other podcasters, because I already broke this shit down years ago.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? See, what that is that from whatever happened, whatever she holding on to, she never forgave him for.
Right.
She faked it, right? Went through the motions, because no matter what nobody say, you in a relationship because you receive some type of benefit from it. I don't know why people don't believe that. You with your girl, even if it's for love, you with it because your girl make you feel a certain way about her and yourself.
Yep.
Right? So what happened is, and this is what I be telling women, y'all be sitting up there talking about y'all, the nurturing and blah, all that. That's bullshit. Don't nobody hold a grudge like a female, bro.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Nobody, right? And this is why I tell you, a lot of women, y'all say y'all forgive y'all. Oh, we the better sex because y'all can't take what we take. That's a goddamn lie, right? The reason why you there is because you wanted to get back at him eventually. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but she eventually trying to gut, like my boy JT said, she trying to gut punch your ass, right? Because when we sit down as a couple, right? Because I tell y'all, we all human. You know, I understand everybody on the panels is you're scholars and such great people. I've never met such upstanding people in my life till I got to YouTube, right? So financially
stories for your ass, Ricky.
So financially sound and made all the right choices. Hell, their parents made the right choices. That's why they're here. Ain't none of them no GBBs, no get back babies, right? None of y'all really think y'all daddy name is Johnny, but your daddy name is Willie Earl and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, y'all so perfect, right? But when I made that fuck up and I set you down as a woman and said, you know what? I messed up. It was my fault. Do I want you to stay? Yes, I love you. I fucked up, right? But you are free to do however you want to go about it. But I need you to forgive me. I ain't saying today. I ain't saying tomorrow. But I need us to work through this, right? And she finally come to that point where she say, I forgive you. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Because forgiveness means you leave it where the fuck it's at.
Yep.
Right? Not saying it didn't happen, right? But you leave it where the fuck it's at, right? And and this is the problem. Most women can't leave shit where the fuck it's at.
Yep, I agree.
They can't. It's the ones that can that stay married for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. I keep trying to tell you, a lot of y'all not married because it's simple. You're not in a healthy relationship with another partner because it's simply not in you. You say, these people say things like, how to fix this shit, right? How to fix it, how to fix all this stuff is what's been going on, but don't nobody want to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The men have made the adjustments as a whole. Now, that's not saying it's not no stragglers out there that's fucking up the game, but men had made the adjustments as a whole. When I was young, when all y'all was young, if you had anybody around you or in high school, right, grammar school, everything was very female centric.
Yep.
Everything. Do right by your wife, right? your mothers. We don't need to have these single mothers up here. A lot of these guys, you see them taking care of their children because that's how they were raised to do. Right? That's how they are raised to do. And what's going on now is that the men, and y'all listen to what I'm saying, right? The men that this generation mothers love, they can't stand them. They can't stand a responsible man, right? They can't stand a man that take care of his children. That's out. He ain't lit. He ain't got no motion.
He lit. And what do you say? He lame. Niggas are lame.
You know what,
He
Ricky?
ain't got no motion.
You know what?
They call him corny.
I'm gonna
you
tell
know what I'm
something,
saying?
Ricky.
Corny.
Let me tell you something I saw one time, and I had to check my wife ass one time years ago about this bullshit. So I had my brother married a white girl. They're still together to this day. They don't come around a lot though. But he married a white girl, and we all decided to go out with him and stuff like that. You know, have a good time. And the entire time she was there, she was just in this serving mode. You know, baby, would you like something to drink? Baby, would you like something to eat? You know, always rubbing the small of his bag, laying her head on his shoulder, you know, kissing him behind the ear when they talking and cuddling up and shit. And I saw her right here, like the guy's playing pool, and I'm looking at the white girl right here, and all of our wives over here. I said, what the fuck going on? So I said, okay, let me see. So I said, hey, babe, come here. I said, what's the problem? Well, they didn't want to be around. I said, man, I don't give a fuck about nothing. That's when I was a thug. I was transitioning. I said, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I said, man, y'all cannot treat that girl like that. And why would y'all do that? So here come my sister-in-law. Well, ain't nobody tell you to bring the white bitch in here trying to show us up. Whoa!
Here we go. The truth come out.
Now we talking. So now you think the white girl here trying to show you up because you don't do that shit for your husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem right there. That's your issue right there. And that girl didn't do that. And that girl sat over there. You could tell that she wanted to cry so bad because they was just not talking to her. They wouldn't have no conversation with her. And I told my wife, don't let that shit happen no fucking more. Don't be over there with the crowd. Don't get mad because this girl over here treating this boy so well and so good. It's sad. And I see it all the time, Ricky, bro. I see it all the time. Good women, like, take heed. Go look through her chat. How many women hate on her? You know what I'm saying? They'll drag her because I mean, one time she was on my show and she said, you know, one day I just felt so amazed by my husband at the fact that he took me and he loved me in spite of me. And she said, I bowed to my husband. You remember that, take heed?
I did.
And the hoes went crazy.
They said she was a slave.
She's a slave.
And a real
She
boy.
Pick me.
Oh my God.
They can't stand a real one, boy. I'm telling
But
you.
you know what? I'm going to share something
Okay.
with you, BMU. You making me laugh right now because I'm going to share something with you. I remember not even, I think at least maybe like 4 months ago, me and my husband had went to one of his best friends. It was a big naming ceremony, right? This is traditional African naming ceremony, right? And so all the men were lined up to get their food. My husband was sitting at the table. So all the women who was at the table were up with their husbands, grabbing food and whatever. And I'm online grabbing food for me and my husband. So as they serving us the food, the woman said, why you need 2 plates? I said, one for me and one for my husband. She said, he can't get up. I said, no, he can't get up. I'm making his plate.
You ain't call her fuck ass.
She looked at me. She looked at me like, what's going on? So when I get back to the table with the plate, I got my husband beer, napkin, spoon, fork, whatever, and I'm putting it together. And all the women is looking at me like, now these are African women, but they looking at me like, what the, you know?
Like you an alien.
Yeah.
They like, we was trying to be like you. You out here being like our ancestors.
I'm like, what's going on? And my husband looked at me and he said, don't do it to him. Just sit down. Don't do it to him.
Don't do it to him.
So I understand. People don't understand the part of serving. Nobody understands that part anymore.
We serve each other.
That's missing in the marriage. They
we
don't
serve each other.
Ricky and take heed. I want to say this today. The matter of fact, it happened today. Today, I had my headphones on today at work because I was frustrated because somebody left me too much work and went on vacation. I'm gonna take care of that bitch nigga when he get back. But I was at work today. I had to pin it in and get my job done today. And I heard the ladies talking about relationships. They're talking about some show, their reality bullshit. And one of the girls said, "You know what? I can't stand. I just broke up with my guy." And the girls was like, "Oh, what happened?" She said, "He got that fucking caveman mentality shit." And one of the other girls asked, "What does caveman mentality mean?" She said, always, he always trying to check me about something. Like I can't wear certain stuff. I be want to go out and be half naked sometimes. Hell, he talking about, no, that's not appropriate for a woman to wear. Beating his fucking chest like he a caveman or something. Telling me I can and can't go here and I can't go here and I shouldn't be around this female and I shouldn't be around my friend because she's trifling. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, goddamn, that's like a man to me. And a lot of people don't like Charleston White, but he said something a few weeks ago, goddamn it, I agree with. He said, no good man will ever be liked. No good man will ever be liked. And so when these men are getting stepped on, stomped on, you ain't shit, you don't bring no value to my life. You don't need, fuck it. If you're in a marriage and your wife is telling you, you don't bring no value to my life, I don't want to be with you no more because of this. And you know what? I think a lot of women out there are making permanent decisions on temporary problems.
That's what they always do.
And then 6 months down, I seen a video today on Tasha K. I don't even like that hoe, but Tasha K had a video on her channel today where a woman crying saying her husband abandoned her. She and her family moving to the house.
And she ain't got no money.
He said, fuck you and your family. I'm out. And he left them by themselves to pay the mortgage. She losing the house. She losing the car. She ain't got no money. He was the breadwinner. He brought on the money. You don't do what I say.
Let your family help you. Let your family hold you down.
That's where you're getting your advice from. There you go.
I tell you.
Did you hear what I said? She said, my husband left me, y'all. I can't believe he don't want me no more. I got all these bills. I'm hopping from house to house. I'm losing everything. Well, you should have listened to your goddamn husband.
But being you, what did they used to call it? They used to say that you slice your throat because you spite your face.
Right. Cut your
nose
off
your nose and spite your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rick, I mean, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me if I'm giving bad advice. But if you're at home right now and you get up every day and your woman ain't got nothing decent to say to you when you come home, she got nothing cooked for you. She don't want to hug you. She don't want to have sex with you. She's telling you don't have no value. She's telling you that you ain't shit. You ain't a good daddy. You ain't. I mean, this goes out to the baby dads, the husband, fiancés. If she's talking to you like that, man, even if you're married to a man, it's just time to get on up out of there. Ain't no that woman has no respect for you in that marriage if she's talking to you and dogging to you. And let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna fucking leave it alone because I'm passionate about this shit. I seen it happen to my fucking brother. Shout out to Nick. My brother and his girl, man, they moved to Texas. And I told them you can stay in my house as long as you need to till you get on your feet and y'all start your own shit, bro. Y'all got a home here with us. They moved in. She and this motherfucker talking about, I ain't gonna get no job. That's for you to do. I'm listening. I said, I ain't gonna say nothing out loud. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. And I just listened to how she talked. I'm not you the man, you go get it. So my brother went out and got a job. Then he started working at night for the NTTA. And he's working 2 jobs. She's sitting at home. And then we go and get grocery. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm smelling chicken. I said, what the fuck is going on here? I go in the chicken. This woman didn't cook a family pack of fucking wings in there eating them, watching my goddamn TV. I told my brother that's strike 2. Strike 3, I'm gonna show you how to treat her. And what she did was, man, she disrespected. My brother came in my brother came in frustrated for
Wake
work.
up, Grace.
My brother came in. Oh, no, I'm a clip. You should have let us JT. My brother came in from work frustrated, and she said something to him, called him a bitch ass nigga or something. And all I remember was this. Sound like Grambling State marching, man. He started, and my wife said, go get him. I said, 30 more seconds. I'm serious. I'm not going in there getting shit. 30 more seconds. She said, no.
He was slow walking over there. Come on, man.
She said, baby, please go get him. I said, nope. I said, she need that whoop. Get out and get that whooping. And then when he got done, I said, now get her out my goddamn house. I said, now call your daddy and tell your dad to come get you. My brother and I going nowhere. You call your dad and tell your dad to come get you. And it was cold as shit. I said, you sit out there in the garage till you get here.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, we don't put up with these females. Listen, it's 2 men. Listen to me. It is too many women out here looking really good women, looking for really good men. Don't allow a woman whose spirit is on hospice to take your energy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He ain't lying.
Even if you're married to him. Ain't that abandonment in the Bible lost in translation? If I'm correct? If she's not doing her wifely duty, she ain't cooking, she ain't cleaning, she ain't hugging, ain't giving you none, don't talk to you, don't love on you. It says a good woman is a crown to her husband's head, but a bad woman is a cancer to his bone. That's why these 30-year-old men look like they're 75.
Ooh.
Because they're married to women who are in hospice. In misery love company. If I'm in hospice and I don't love myself, I'm gonna drag your ass on in hospice with me. Hell no. Men, get your ass up and go do a non-contest. You gotta lose everything. Do a non-contest divorce. Get rid of their ass.
That's what the Bible says. A good woman builds up her home with her hands.
Yeah.
But a bad woman tears it down with her own hands.
With her own hands.
And her tongue.
With her own hands.
And her tongue.
And her tongue.
But
that's what we talk about that.
Get rid of.
We talk about that a lot, man. And it's people. It's funny how people still attach to people because of fear. They still attach to each other because of the fear of the unknown. They scared.
There you go, JT.
That's the craziest thing about that. And it seems like I think it is insane. I think, when they tell you that a part of what they say love is insane, I don't think it's love that's insane. I think it's the people that try to use fear, insecurity, and all these things, and they try to package it up with this thing called love. And that's what it is. Because if you love somebody, sometimes you got to get rid of their. You got to get away from them. Yep. Sometimes that's what we was talking about with the 12-step program, bro. By the time you get to the 11th step, you making a move to get rid of all the toxic things that had you bogged down. And sometimes it's your significant other. And a lot of people are so scared of that shit where they just don't think that it can be somebody else that's for them.
Yeah. And guess what, JT? Imagine this, Ricky. Oh, Lord have mercy. I wish that you got Ricky, our pain, JT, Take Heed, Embrace, and Lost. I wish you guys could be in Dallas in April. Every April, they do this month-long thing at the church for, they really, they do have marriage class every Tuesday night, but they really hone in on marriages. Bro, for the last 3 years, I just been disgusted.
What month? What month?
In April.
Okay, yeah.
And they just, when I tell you these women come in there, Take Heed, you will throw up in your mouth. These women are some of the shit these women. Last year, I wish my wife was woke right now. She sleep like a mother. Last year, her brother passed away, y'all. So y'all pray for my wife. Her brother passed away yesterday.
Oh, definitely in our prayers, bro.
For sure.
Absolutely, man.
Shout out to her. But yeah, so there were women in there telling their husbands, "I want a divorce, and I came here only because he paid for it. I'm only here because he paid for it. I don't want." And I'm telling you, in front of they have a circle, and they bring the couples into the chairs in the middle to discuss, and then the couples on the outside give their advice, and then they have the professional come in and give their professional advice. So she was like, she said, "Look at your husband and tell him how you feel." She said, "I'm only here because he paid for it. I don't want you. I don't need you. You don't bring no value to my life. You're not a good father no more. You're not a good husband. I don't want you anymore. I want a divorce." That's what she told him to his fucking face in front of 45 other men, and just emasculated him. I swear, I said, "Damn, somebody, one of these women, please get up and slap her." I mean, she was just going in on him. And then another woman came up. I want to piggyback on what she said. This is a season for women. Women need to stand up and stand out and not be suppressed by the husbands that they marry that don't want them to have more than them.
Really?
Where
more than them? Ain't they married?
Where?
I gotta get a plane ticket there, bro. I need to.
JT, I'm telling you, this year I told my wife, this year I'm not gonna have no duct tape on my mouth. This year I'm gonna get all them hoes up out of there. This year, I promise you, there's gonna be some furniture moving in this year.
Vacation time I got left. Hold
Man,
on. What week?
This shit is crazy. I think it's April the 6th. Let me look. Hold on, I got it right here. Hold on, I see my bookmarks.
Where does this world exist? That
the 5th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st of that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 19, 20, 21st.
I have yet to experience a married household a married household, especially at our age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where a husband and wife are not putting in a fair amount of work from both sides.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never her fault, Ricky.
I know, like it's always our fault. You know what I'm saying? Once a man realizes that, you'll have 90% of the game locked in, right?
Yeah.
Even when it's not your fault, it's your fault. You know,
right.
that's a whole different diatribe, right? But women just lie. They just be lying for no good goddamn reason. Like, where is these homes where or relationships where a woman can't go out with her friends, right? Or take on a hobby, right? Or get a job that fulfills her or some shit. Like, where does this happen? Where is it that, especially in our community at our age, right, that a black man makes so much money that he just abuses you and control the money in the house?
I ain't seen that one yet, Ricky. I ain't seen none of that shit. But I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot.
And Ricky, some of these men got married young, and they were dumbasses, stupid, verbally abusive. Some of them, I'm saying they get to a point in their life, they don't want that man. They don't want the man that the man is becoming. And the shit is like fucking. I can help me, Ricky, because I don't.
No, this is what I'm saying though. Like, I'm just being totally transparent with y'all. When the men were fucking up, everybody knew, bro.
Yes,
ladies, this shit is on y'all right now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't want to believe it, right? Because everybody, like, y'all, like, this shit is crazy to me. How, look, man, we got ugly ass women thinking they tens. Let's listen to what I'm saying, right? And I don't give a damn. Look, you and y'all know how I feel. You are free to feel however you want about something. Can't nobody deny you your feelings. Your feelings are yours, right? But how is it that you ugly on the outside and the inside?
Man, come on.
Right? You want rich, but you broke as fuck. Right? You want a house, but you stay in a 2-bedroom apartment with air mattresses on the floor.
Right.
Like, this is unreasonable. Nowhere in history, right? Nowhere in history.
Damn.
Nowhere in the history of mankind was it a bonus, right? Was it a bonus for a woman to say, okay, I have a child by another man and he's a part of me, so you should look at us as one. Right? This shit makes, this is bizarre world. I don't know, like Superman with a backward S on his chest. This shit makes no sense. The crazy part, and that's cool. This is, look, I keep trying to tell y'all, everybody believe in the Bible, but when we see biblical shit, no one wants to believe it.
Come on, Ricky. Right? Come on, you preaching right now.
Right? But the crazy part to me is that the people co-sign it.
Yeah.
That's the most insane part to me. People co-sign it. I was on This Might Be Risky, and I broke down exactly what men are doing wrong. Such and such, woo-woo, they need to be more responsible, take care of their kids, blah, 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 blah. Child support existed because men weren't responsible. Just being thorough with it, right? These tricks in a chat still telling me I don't agree. You don't agree with the truth, with right shit?
Right.
Right, Rick.
Right? And y'all sit up here. This shit, it hurt. Like, I don't understand how this doesn't frustrate people, right?
Me too, it pisses me off.
Because I see it in real time. I have kids that's 25, 30, 32. You know what I'm saying? I see it in real time. And even though they sit up here, and this is what's crazy, right? Because like I said, I'm not special. I'm an average guy. I get up and go to work every day, right? But y'all want to tell me on here that I'm exceptional. No, I'm every dude I know damn near. Right? And y'all sit up here and y'all say things like, there's no good men around. They say things like, oh, you can't pay all the bills in your house.
Yeah.
Yep.
In this economy, no, I could pay every bill in here. What I can't do is fund your fucking habits. Right? What they saying when they say that shit is like, oh, such and such, woo woo. No, what you want a man to do is fund your lifestyle.
While you do you.
Right? Not provide you a house and a space and pay for groceries and electric and insurance. No, you want the most expensive car that you can get out of a dude, or the most expensive house that you can get out of the dude, right? Like this is just crazy to me. People like, and I don't see how it doesn't.
And don't even want to give head.
Ricky, let me tell you something, Ricky. I'm encouraging all men right now. I know this ain't gonna be sexy, and I don't give a goddamn because I'm pissed off about it too, Ricky. I'm with you. I cannot even in my mind understand how women can say some of the shit that they say. But I'm telling you right now, fellas, I'm praying that you find the woman of your dreams while you laying next to your nightmare.
Ooh.
Next. God damn it. And I ain't saying shit else. I'm done. I hope they find the woman of their dreams while they laying next to their goddamn nightmare. A lot of men, it's men that get up. I'm telling you, bro. I be seeing these. You can look at. I'm gonna tell you what my sister said. My sister said, Dwayne. She called me Dwayne. You know, she said you can look at a man and tell a man that ain't getting none and his wife ain't shit. And she said, let's walk through the store. I'm gonna show you. I said, okay. We walking in Walmart. She said, look, he ain't getting none. Either he ain't getting no pussy or he ain't being nurtured. She said, look at that one right there. Look how tired he is. He got a ring on his finger. Look, he married. His wife ain't treating him right. She said, you can tell. And she said, this is how women who want a married man or want to get that man and take that man from you, this is how they hunt. They hunt by looking at a man. I heard a woman say on TikTok say, just go up to a random guy that you think that ain't being nurtured by his wife and just hug him. He'll probably fall a little bit in your arms.
Melt like butter.
Stink. Imagine being married to a woman you can't hug, you can't kiss, you can't cuddle up with, you can't talk to her about shit. Just imagine it. These men are lit, and then you get up paying all the bills. Boy, I swear to God, she going that motherfucker can't take a shower fucking with me. What happened to the water? She a bitch pay the bill. I ain't got it. I'm over here at my dream house. This Nightmare on M Street. This some bullshit. Oh no, Ricky, you got my blood pressure high.
Rick telling the truth, man.
Man, this shit pisses me off, bro.
Stop lying. That's all I'll be saying. Stop
average
lying.
Men are not good no more. Average men, like they say, average is not good. He needs to be making $100,000 a year. And bitch, you work at Dollar General, hanging up Scotch tape every day. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna share something with y'all real.
Come on, take it. It's hot.
I remember. Okay, may his soul rest in peace. KS said,
"Come on,
you average at best, right?"
Mm-hmm.
I remember when he classified the women when they have children, when they plus size, and being a baby mama. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like number 2. That's what I was saying. My mom, like, I'm number 2. Because I'm plus size. I was a baby mama. My husband, when I met him, my husband didn't have anything. Clean slate. Okay? Nothing. No baggage. Nothing. And when this man decided to pick me up on baby mama around the corner lane, okay, and took me in and said, I deem you, just like Ricky used to say back in the day, he paid for some used pussy. That's what it was. So now I'm like, how is that? You know what I'm saying? I never had the mindset to be like, I'm better. Now, mind you, when I met my husband, I had in the beginning, I had made more money than him. I worked at Port Authority for like half of my life. I made more money than him. But when I looked at this man, I was like, this man picked me up on Baby Mama Lane around the corner with somebody else's child, and he wanted to love me. So I couldn't come at him any other type of way because my king, he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me. He knew the value he had in himself. And this is where some of the brothers that they marry women who are horrible, that they don't understand the value that they are. Just being a good man nowadays, they say, is not even good enough.
It's not enough. Take heed.
It's not enough.
No, it's not.
And I can't even imagine my king saying to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm done with you. If my king ever say, I'm done with you, I would break down and cry because I would not want to go to these streets. Do you hear me? That's how bad it is out here. I'm not one of those wives that be like, I don't need you. I could do all bad by myself. I'm going to be fine and all this nonsense. I'm not one of those. Because I know where this man picked me up on Baby Mama Lane around the corner up the street. When nobody wanted to deal with my mouth, when nobody wanted to deal with my attitude, when people told me you are alpha female and I'm not going to deal with your foolery. I don't want you. Yes, you got a nice shape. You got a nice shape. You got a big butt, big breast, whatever, but I don't want to fuck with you because you don't know how to talk to nobody. And my king took me and said, I'm going to train you because you ain't going to just talk any old kind of way to me. And I looked at him, tooted my head like, this man crazy. He was not crazy. This man loved me and wanted to teach me. And I'm going to share something with you. I thank God I was ready to learn. So when I sit up here and listen, like when KS was alive, when I listened to what he said, my heart broke because I was like, I'm two at best. I couldn't even, when I just saw a couple days ago, it was a big girl up there on some type of show. She talking about I'm an 8.5. I said, weird. Not saying just because you big, not saying just because you big that you ain't supposed to say you were 8.5, but your attitude is nasty. You don't know how to value a man. You don't know what you're saying up there on this panel. I'm a big girl, yes, but my husband always tell me, you have a good heart. You know how to talk.
You're beautiful.
You know how to speak.
You beautiful.
And I love you for that.
You beautiful.
And you know, I'm gonna share something with you, Ricky. I'm gonna share something with you. The pictures that my husband showed me when I was dating my husband, the pictures that he showed me of the women that he dated before me, if I say they were 2 or 3 or 4, I'm lying. These women were like 8, 9, 10. Okay? These women were beautiful. And I remember telling my husband, damn, these women ain't got no kids. He said, you know what? They weren't mine. You were mine. You know what I'm saying? Even though you was on Baby Mama Lane up the street around the corner, you were mine.
Talk to me.
I looked at my husband. I'm like, this man, you know what I'm saying? So when I see women that get up here on these podcasts talking about I'm 10 point something, go sit down. Because first of all, you don't know how to talk to nobody. I'm tired of women getting on these podcasts talking about I'm married, but you can disrespect every man on a panel. All you got to do is put a woman on a panel. She tell you she married, and let her get in a disagreement with her husband, with any man on the panel. You already know she run that house.
Take heed.
She run that house.
Take heed. Last week, I think it was. I don't know. JT, I think you was there. Our pain. I don't know what panel we was on. I think it was on. This might be risky. When there was a young lady on the panel that says her husband has a curfew on what time to be in the house. She said, but she don't have a curfew. They say, well, what time you be coming in? She say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. What fucking man will allow his fucking wife to be at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I think that was on Freezy's. Was it on
girls.
Freezy's channel?
Shit.
I remember her saying, no, guess what it was? It was on Embrace's channel.
No. It was on. It was on because I know it was. I know exactly what
Cali.
girl
I think it was Cali Bev. I think
it was Cali Bev.
Oh no, it was Cali Bev.
It was Cali Bev. That's right.
It was Cali Bev.
Cali Bev said
the only thing open at 4 a.m. is Waffle House and Legs.
And you a wife.
She said what again? She said 4 a.m.
Yeah, she said she'll call her husband and say, "Me and my girls gonna shut the club down tonight."
She said he don't start looking for her until about 3:30.
Yeah, I remember that.
3:30, 4 o'clock in the
tail end of that.
I'm gonna share something with you.
I thought it was on yours, Embrace.
I could imagine my husband. I could imagine my husband saying all types of foolery to me, and wherever I am, he already checking my location by the phone, and he had been there, and wherever I was at, he'd be right there, looking at me like I'm crazy. I had never tested my husband. I've never tested this man. I know my husband is gangster just because the stuff he say to me just give me poise. Like you never had a person that you done said some fucked up shit to them, and then they look at you like this the shit you don't want.
Yeah, or they tell you you done fucked up, don't you?
Oh, I can't take it. I'm sorry.
I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I said my wife didn't ever test me. That's a lie. Like I tell people, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the era of Iowa test. I keep a number 2 pencil sharp. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I keep a number like
look
people
at this.
Right? You know what I'm saying? People don't like guys don't understand. Guys don't understand what it like. I'm serious, man. The more emotional my wife get, the colder I get, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. The coldest I get, especially if it's some stuff I'm like that's really pertinent. Nope. I hear what you saying, but nope.
I like when my husband used to say to me back in the day when we first got married, I used to cry. Like if I knew I did some fucked up shit, I would cry, right? To get out of it, right? And then when he got hit to it, you know what he would tell me? He was like, when you get time, go wipe your face. You hear him in that Nigerian voice. Go wipe your face. And we gonna still talk about that money being missing. And I used to be like, like I thought it was enough. You know what I'm saying? Me crying. But my husband, it's something about this man that I'm like, this man is a problem. This man is a problem. And I can't handle this.
Because the truth is, you don't want a woman don't want no man that's no fucking pushover, bro.
Say it again.
And Ricky, guess what? And the ones that try to get rid of men who are being men, they want a beta bitch. They want a beta bitch. That's what they want. They want a man that's gonna say, "Okay, honey, you can do."
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I'm gonna use some pushback, right? It's not that they want them, right? That's what they're used to, right? Let's just say call a spade, right?
Okay.
Me personally, right? Except for the hyenas, right? The whores and the hyenas, right?
The whores and the what?
The whores and the hyenas. Most women want a man, right? They want a man. It's just that they don't present enough value for a man to sit there and go through the training processes of getting that woman to where she needs to be ideal for him.
Oh, that's nasty.
Right? This is what I keep this is what the ladies don't understand, right? The reason why they can't get husbands, right? They can get anybody to fuck them. They can get anybody to fuck them. The reason why they can never get a husband, and when they look at the sisters that they think that's not as pretty as them, right, or don't have the the wealth or the things that they have or been where they've been, right? It's because it will require a woman to be something that they're not. And that's all it is. It's not in you to be a wife.
Please leave your message.
Plain and simple. The changes that most of these women would have to make, right, to be wifely material, it's simply not in them.
It's not in them.
Because
no,
it's
most of them
to manipulate than it is to be a wife and do
Yep,
what a wife
there
has
you
to
go.
do.
There you go.
I've had a woman that said to me that she didn't deserve me. She told on herself.
Facts.
I couldn't be with her no more.
Facts.
You should have said
She,
you right.
she's done it more, and it was just different ways on how she said it. Some days, sometimes she used to say, "Why are you with me? Why do you love me?" I'm like, I don't need to be with you, because she was telling on herself.
JT, my ex-wife told me after what year is this? 2024. She told me in 2022 I could never be the woman you needed me to be.
Yeah.
I could never. This is what my ex told me. I could never be the woman you needed me to be.
But another thing,
I made the right decision.
We're not teaching our women, our little girls, how to be wives. They'd rather be baby mamas than wives. We're not cultivating little girls and preparing them to be wives. They don't have an example to see what it is to grow up in a marriage, in a healthy relationship. All they hear all their life is niggas ain't shit. You don't need a man. You're strong and independent. Woo, 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 woo. So then when they finally start to interact with a man, which is usually maybe when they go to college, they're socially awkward. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to do anything. So now what do you do then? And it's men too. A lot of boys are not being raised to be leaders, head of households, due to the fact that they're being raised by women and they're catching on the characteristics of the women. And that's why I think we have so many emotional young men now and don't know how to express themselves or articulate themselves and take this. They're not taught to take the head of the table as the kings that they are, because they're not shown that they're worthy of it. Niggas ain't shit. We don't need a man. So what do we do, Rick? What do we do?
JT, I gotta touch on something that you said though. I'm sorry. JT, when you said that she didn't deserve you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said this to my king when I first met him. I said this to him.
Wow.
I kid you not. I said this to him because I knew that I was like, this can't be real. You know what I'm saying? This can't be real, because this was the only man that I had met that challenged me. Like, if I said some fucked up shit, he would correct me. Spot on. No matter where I was, he would correct me. And I was like, what is going on? And I remember saying to him, I don't deserve you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, you're mine. You're mine. And that always stayed in my mind. Like, you know, that's why if you ever hear me talk about my husband, y'all know how I talk about my king. Mm-hmm. I put this man is on a pedestal in my mind. You cannot bring my king down. I don't care what happened. I don't care how much money you got, where you live at, how much you have. I would never trade my king in for anybody, because I remember where he picked me up at. Baby mama lane up the street around the corner. You know? So that touched me about what you said. I'm
that
so
particular woman, I was, you know, it's just, you know, the brand of love that you try to give women. Like me, it's kind of like once I'm in a relationship with you, my default is something different. It's something different. And it was kind of like we were in it was like a heated argument or whatever, but she just didn't know how to handle me, because that probably was like the first time that she even seen me get heated. You know what I'm saying? because normally she'll see me smile and laugh, and I'm always joking, you know. But there's always a serious side of me. So she only seen like a couple of sides of me, and then she tried me. And there was one time where I just wasn't having it, and I was talking to her directly. This was during the times of me trying to slap the bitch out of myself. You know what I'm saying? I still had a little bitch in me. So that whole being emotional and all that, no, I was actually practicing being, you know, direct, stoic, and I wanted to be a leader. So when she seen that I had passion, she seen that I had patience, when she seen that I was stern, but I was still loving, it was just, I guess she, you know, when they get to thinking about it, and she come and she just was like, you know, she just came to me and was just like, I don't think I deserve you. Why do you still want to be with me? You know, it was just that type of thing, because when we were, you know, it got heated, she started crying, but it didn't soften me up. It made me even more, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I was just like, no, you're gonna get this work today. You know what I'm saying?
Numb to the shit. You was numb to the shit.
Game recognized game, granddad.
Yeah.
No, but hey, JT, that first conversation when you come into your shit hit different, don't it?
Oh man, it do.
That
No
first
doubt,
conversation. Well, I remember with my wife when I had that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know, when we got married, you know, I was on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When we first started, you know what I'm saying? But then when like I said, man, this what men I want young men to understand, period, right? How you tell if this your woman, bro? Take away the excuses, bro.
Yep.
Take away them excuses, boy. Right? Like people don't understand. I painted my wife in a corner. I painted her in a corner, and everybody, I understand people, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should test every relationship you have. I don't care what nobody say. Right?
Absolutely.
I painted a corner. Everything she said that was wrong, that I didn't do right, I fixed.
Yep.
Everything. And the one argument we had, and she was trying to take it. I mean, it was some little shit that she made into some big shit. And I think she did it just to see. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think she did it just to see. She said some off-brand shit. You know what I'm saying? And this like 15 years ago. Y'all hear what I'm saying? But I remember it was yesterday. Right. She said some off-brand shit. I knew it had to do with some money shit. You know what I'm saying? I looked at her, I was like, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Right?
I've said that before too.
She started going down the rabbit hole. Y'all know how it go.
Yeah.
All the old shit. I was like, so if you ain't forgive me, then what was the point of us moving on then?
Yeah.
Right? Did I not make the appropriate corrections? Did I not do everything I said I was going to do as a man? What the fuck is your problem? The door, and I told her the door worked both ways. Y'all think I be playing when I say that shit? The door worked both ways.
Absolutely.
I don't want my door to work at all.
I'm saying, but
fail all the time.
But like I'm saying, sis, like motherfuckers be talking all that, and then I don't want to hear that shit. I am not throwing away my life for none of you motherfuckers.
Right.
None of y'all. My sister know what it is when you lay in the bed and y'all cuddled up all nice. You know what I'm saying? And y'all talking about what life is and what it's gonna be. Right? When the kids get out the house and you get old and crick. I'm dying with this woman. Fuck what y'all talking about.
Right.
You hear me?
Fuck what y'all talking about. And I feel sorry for you motherfuckers who never experienced a relationship with a person like that.
Man.
I feel fucking sorry for y'all.
Talk to him, Rick.
Did you hear what I said?
To know somebody love you despite all your bullshit.
He preached. I'm about to start running. I'm going to run up out this.
Despite all your fuck ups, despite
Preach,
all
boy.
the things that you fucked up with, whether they were intentional or not. Y'all ain't experienced that with your goddamn mama. If we're going to keep it a fucking buck,
let's go.
Yeah. But I have a person that through all my fears, my triggers,
fuck ups,
my traumas and fuck ups, love me.
Come on!
And that's what allowed me to see down the line and make myself a better man.
Yep.
Now, what you had a mindset like these goddamn booger wooger bears today?
But y'all niggas, y'all bitches, y'all rather get even, right? Than get a man. Y'all rather get even than to have a husband.
Speak on it.
Right? The reason why men don't like y'all because y'all are men.
Oh, that's nasty.
Hear what I say.
Say that shit again.
That's nasty.
The reason why men don't like y'all is because y'all are men.
I'm gonna do the sound effect myself. Did you hear what I said?
Right? Because the truth of the matter is, right? The truth of the matter is that in what y'all call traditional relationships, right? The woman set a certain moral standard for the relationship. Right? She didn't get back. What she did is she used, I don't care what y'all say, she used the event against you to make you better. Right? A good woman, right? No matter what y'all say, uses her femininity as a superpower, and she let that guilt and bullshit sit on your head. Right? That's what a feminine woman does. Right? But like I said, y'all rather be the boys outside. Y'all want to be city boys too and shit. City boy! And then y'all have the crazy idea of thinking that puts you on par with a man. Don't you know how men think? I'll punch another man in the fucking face. You guys were supposed to be the fairer sex.
Man, come on.
Preach it.
You were supposed to give your man something to aspire to. You were supposed to be your man's muse. Y'all one of his niggas from back in the day on the block.
Ricky, they don't want to be the mattress. Ricky, they don't want to be the mattress. They want to be the box spring.
Ooh. Supposed to be soft to the touch.
Hard as rocks, sis. Hard as rocks.
Yeah.
And y'all wonder, like, man, whatever the fuck. I'm just talking, man. I got to go to bed, man. I got to work in the morning.
Come on, you preaching tonight, boy. God damn, this
man. I appreciate the space, man. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you always, bro.
We in tomorrow after that sermon. I don't even think man, you know what, bro? I appreciate y'all, man. There's a lot of people, man, and I wish I could talk more about these marriages and stuff out here. I just don't like releasing people's names and stuff. But man, we got to pray for some of our guys, bro. They going through it, bro. There's some husbands out here going through it, and I know them personally. And it just, and me, lost in translation, know what I'm talking about? It just drives me up. It's people that we know as together that Lost knows, I know, man, going through it. Yeah. Wives are just drilling them. And it's just talking bad to them, and I can't believe a motherfucking woman can say, you don't bring no value to my life, but you stood in front of me and said for better or for.
Yeah. Hey, but I gotta say this, man. Ricky, Arpain,
nasty.
Mr. Bennett, all my brothers that's married, that's out here, that's actually doing it the right way, man. Y'all make it look easy. But when you start talking about it, see, that's when people know that they got to do the work.
Yes.
One of the things I do know is that I seen it firsthand. I had front row seats to seeing how a marriage blossomed into something. And one of the things, that's why I tell people, you do everything that's dutiful in your relationship and your marriage, and then you die. Reason why I can say that, because I saw it. My mom is here right now. She's in her room right now, and she's still going through it. The love of her life, 18 when they got married on their prom night. And they stayed 54 years together until my father died. That's the greatest heartbreak that you can ever be privy to suffer. Because that's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be the biggest heartbreak in your life. Somebody got to go first. Yep. I remember hearing my parents talking about that. I seen my parents grow up. in their 20s. I saw the fights, barely, because they tried their best to keep it away from me and my brother. But I heard the arguments. We didn't even have to hear them argue. Because when they at odds, guess what? The household wasn't working quite right. You know what I'm saying? The shit was crazy. But then I saw them in their mid-30s. It started getting a little bit better. This is seeing them work at it all the time. Then they got in their 40s. Got a little bit better. Now, what they're doing is advising me, advising my brothers, advising the family. And everybody keeps saying, how y'all? Like, my mother's name is Gloria. They call her Jeannie. My father's name is James. When the family used to talk about going to their house, they didn't used to say, you're going over James' house or you're going over Jeannie's house. They always say, you're going over James and Jeannie's house. That's how much you could not tell what side of the family either of them were on because they were that intertwined into the family. Their purpose was beyond their understanding. They didn't even know until when my father died, actually what the purpose was. You know why? Grandson, he got kids that's doing well. When people were speaking at his memorial, guess what? We seen his value in life. We talking about he got nephews and nieces, and the way that they spoke, it was something else. And my father was not one of these Bill Cosby guys. My father was him. I don't even know nobody that can be like him. My father was Mr. Whoop ass. He was the one when you got to be 21, 22 years old, he gave you your rite of passage because he gonna smoke some weed with you in this Cadillac. Come over here. Let me holler at you. That's how everybody got along with him. I went to the military. I was gone for 10 years. He took all my best friends, became his best friends. Him and my mom it never was an inkling of them leaving each other. That's how crazy it was. Never was an inkling. They talked about it alone. They left. I think the only time I've ever seen my parents be gone for away from each other was like 2 weeks. And he took me when I was 5 years old down to Tennessee to visit family for 2 weeks. That was it. They was beefed out. They came back. They talked about it. Guess what they ended up doing? Staying back together. People go out and they leave and they go out of town and they come back. Guess what the central house was? My parents' house. Before it was my parents' house, it was my grandmother and my granddaddy's house. Before it was their house, it was my great-granddaddy and my great-grandmother's house. We always had a central place where we went. That's why I know what the purpose is when it comes down to this. It's just fucked up because I had to tell my mama this. It's hard for me to go and get with y'all because I've been trying to get what they had. I did a good 10-year stint. And I felt like a fucking failure. I felt like I didn't do something right. And it took for my father to tell me, no, you're doing it right. Because you're going to be fucking up as you go. And then he'd tell me, if I was fucking up, no, this is what you're supposed to do. He didn't articulate it always right or nothing because he was crass. No, every word that came out of his mouth was shit, fuck, God damn it. But the man was wise. And he had, he was a very, very hard worker. He saved money. He ain't know nothing about no goddamn credit, but he had A1 credit. My mama knew about credit though. She knew how to put some credit in his name. She knew when they needed some shit, how to multiply that shit. My father I've never seen him go to a goddamn mall or store to buy no clothes or nothing like that. Because my mama did it. The only time I saw my father cooking, it was when he was trying to get, bake a cake or something like that, or if they was beefed out. His go-to meal was goddamn hot dogs and pork and beans. That was it. And then when he get tired of her being gone, what do you say? It's time for you to bring your ass back. It's time to come home. All right, you've been going out there long enough. And they talked about it and they kept it together.
You know what the
he knew how to invest because my father, it was for a short stint. He suffered from dementia, Alzheimer's, but it wasn't for long. It was a good 4 months because he couldn't work anymore. and he didn't feel like he had too much of a purpose. And he seen that his sons had it. Y'all take care of my wife. And then he died.
JT, you know what? That's so powerful. You know what's the difference between that? My mom and dad been married for 41 years. My grandmother and grandfather 63 years before he passed. My aunt and my uncle married for 29 years before she passed. I think in today's time, the reason that marriages are not like your mom and dad, man, it's because too many wives have PTO time. They have PTO. A lot of women are taking PTO. They're paid time off. The man's still paying the bills. You're still benefiting from the company the umbrella that you're under, but you're not doing no fucking work. That's just what it is. Ricky just said it. Ricky said the men are getting their shit together. You got some stragglers, yes, but they're getting their shit together. But women say, fuck it, I'm taking my PTO. And I'm going to still reap the benefits, but I'm not going to do no fucking work. That's it. But my question is, what happens when the company realizes you're still in time?
You gotta go.
You
gotta go.
It's time for you to go. Come on, boy.
Out of there.
So BMU, this is one of the things that we talked about yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Because based on the stream we had yesterday, I said, well, there's always got to be solutions.
Yeah.
And there's some differences in the mindset of the Gen Zers. And I think, instead of like blaming the old folks, if we have anything to say to them, we need to throw gasoline on the fires that they're doing the things that they're doing right. Like, for example, the women enable other women to do bad shit, right? But here's one thing. It doesn't always have to be negative. But when you tell a young woman don't get married when she's in her 20s, you're fucking up.
Yep.
You tell a man don't get married unless you have it all together. And when we know most men don't get it all together in their 30s, you're really telling them a bad fucking you give them a bad message.
Yep.
It's when the thing that builds strong marriages is when two people can get together and go through it together to where they grow together, right? So they have to have the tools to be close even when it's early. You know what I'm saying? And when I say early, 23, 24, we're going to do this together. There's no 50-50. It's 100 and 100. Both of us are putting this shit in and we're going to work together. Not that the guy got to be at the finish line and I'm going to take care.
And she waiting. The good leg turn.
I think we're giving them the wrong message. And the message a man gives a man and a woman has to give a woman, it's not the same message. It's not the same message. And, the message to men is you can't just say, have dick discipline. You got to tell them what happens if you don't. That's the emphasis. Because our nature is to bang out chicks. It's an imperative. We're not going to change that. You can't tell a guy to be celibate. It's just like saying no to drugs. It's not going to work. You got to tell them the consequences of their actions, whether it's disease, whether it's babies, put some economics behind it. Let them know if you get caught out there, this is what's going to happen to you. And at best, you're going to have arrested development. And at worst, you're going to be tied up for most of the formative years of your life. If you're 18 and you get a woman pregnant and you're halfway responsible, you ain't going to be out of that woman's purview until you're 36 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, or maybe and you're going to be dealing with her for life, because if y'all have a kid, it's going to be, somehow you're going to be connected. And then for the woman, the ramifications is just as extreme, but it's different because she's going to burden her mother, she's going to burden her grandmother, she's going to burden her household, and you got to tell her marketplace value goes down. So that's why I take heed. You didn't get lucky. You got blessed with your husband because he recognized that because you also knew that you had to put your work in. The women today don't have that. They think they're entitled, even if they're carrying 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different men. They still think they're entitled to the woman who's been chased. That's crazy.
You You know what's crazy, R-Pain? I left one thing out about them crazy hoes at that marriage conference. One of them said, one of the women said, she said, I know, oh, y'all, please don't fall out. Ricky, do not start shooting your gun in the house. This lady said, I can't wait till I get with my new husband. I can't wait to divorce you. And I find a husband who really will love me the way I want to be loved. And the last thing she said was, I'm trying to remember, it was everybody grabbed their chest like, please die in your sleep tonight. What did she say? She said, I can't wait to be, oh yeah, she said, well, the lady asked her, she said, this is a safe conversation. Do you know how to love your husband now, the man that you're with now? You're thinking ahead while you're still married to this man? She said, oh, I know exactly how to love him. I know how to love him, but I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to my next husband.
Damn.
Well, and right then, I'm telling you, bro, right then and there, bro, I looked at my wife. I said, this is the time where I approve domestic violence. He should have knocked her fucking ass out of the chair. Bro, I couldn't stand it, bro. He should have knocked her ass out.
You know, let me just say this before I go. Listen, I know my daughter played guitar, right? So I went back through my archives and I found something she did when she was like 16. I'm going to put it in the back chat. It's real smooth. And it's nice. She's an acoustic guitar. She plays a lot of stuff, but I just thought this was nice. It always cools me down when I listen to it. And she did it right in front of a music school. It's nice. If y'all want to hear it, y'all should play it. My
you got to send it to me, and I'll play.
It's right there in the back chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in one of my intros.
Yeah.
You know what, Black man, I'm glad you said that, man.
Intros or cash out for your super chats.
Listen, Black man, I'm glad you said that because I was on a podcast with Humble Dad Monday and something was said and I really couldn't get it off. And Humble Dad saw my eyes and he knew I wanted to say something. We just ain't had no time. It was this instance where this lady told her husband she outgrew him because she made more money than him. And that irritated me to my soul. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes back to the scripture about a wise woman builds a house with a hand but tears it down with a tongue. Shit. What do you mean you outgrew your husband? You didn't outgrow your marriage. You didn't make your marriage better. You didn't help, build your husband up. You know what I'm saying? That type of, just because you make a certain amount of more money than your husband, you think you're better than him? Where did this mentality come from? How would she feel if her husband said, you know what, honey? I can afford a much better wife now, a much smaller wife, a much more agreeable wife, a woman who can cook now. You're dismissed. And I assure you, women would be turning over tables. You know what I'm saying? They would be upset. They would be mad. You know what I mean? All over the place. I can't believe he said that. But my thing is this, when we let stuff like that slide, man, when we let the hyenas bite on our brothers, we should feel some level of shame. Shame.
You should.
Shame. I'm talking about for real, man. In the presence of other men, we let a hyena bite a brother and you don't say nothing. That boils my blood, man. How could you? You see this
social
man
programming on autopilot.
You see this man getting bitten by a hyena. And you let him get bit and you let him die. Something in you as a man ought to be able to grab him and pick him up and say, brother, I got you. You ain't got to worry about that. Sometimes as men, we're going to have to learn how to separate ourselves from stupid stuff, from stupid people. It's okay to block them. I had to block somebody from my channel today. Coming in talking mess about Dr. Nkumba. I said, first of all, we have manners here. You're a guest. I don't even know who you are. Second of all, you don't know what you're talking about. You got to go. That's what we're going to have to start doing if we're going to have honest conversations. We cannot afford to be distracted. The mission is too good. It's too great. We got too much, man, at stake.
Facts.
We can't.
Can I share something with you? I actually saw one of my best homeboys go through this. We coached together as basketball. And our kids grew up together. We were at their house. They were at my house. He was a teacher and a high school basketball coach. He made about $75,000 a year. He paid his wife's student loans, put her through nursing school. I mean, they had a beautiful home, 3 cars. I mean, the life that you want and build. As soon as she graduated with her master's, talking about, you don't make enough for me anymore, and left my homeboy. I mean, and that's my homeboy, but he was fine as hell. I couldn't believe how he had everything she could want out of a husband, and was a good father because he was a teacher. He had the boys all summer. You know, he had the boys on Christmas break, and he loved it. He would pick up my son, and they would go out.
He did a job for her. That's the problem.
And to find out, he called me. He was like, "Grace, she left me." I'm like, "What are you talking about? She left you?" She like, "She didn't left me. Wants half of everything in alimony after I didn't paid $180,000 in school loans, put her through medical school." I mean, it was just so sad, and this is one of the reasons why I advocate for men, because that man did not deserve that. Okay, you could have went about it a better way, worked on it, and then you had a man in less than 3 months. So you must have already had him as a backup.
He was always there.
Right. See,
but he was.
Yeah,
he was always there.
See that you can't.
So this is real.
Yeah, it's
no doubt.
Real as hell.
No
it's
doubt.
Real as hell. But you can't. A woman, if you, I don't. How can I say this? I want to say this the right way. If you, I ain't gonna say.
Just say it. Fuck it.
I want to use
after hours.
I want to use the right word, right? Because I mean, I support my wife, right? I support my wife, but she didn't have any skin in the game because he did everything. You see what I'm saying? And the crazy thing, I don't know why, but this is what I observe, again, my personal opinion, that when you do that much for a woman, right, and she doesn't have to do anything to earn it, she'll hate you for it. Right?
Yeah.
She'll hate you for it, right? So what he should have done is provided for the home as he should, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, But that education, it should have been on her.
He did too much, in other words.
Yeah. Yes. It should have been on her. If that's something she wanted to do, I'm not going to get away of your dream, but I ain't going to support it. I ain't going to pay for it. That's your dream. You get your ass out there, get a job, or your student loans, when that shit come in, that's on you.
Figure out how to get a deferment program and shit like that, and whatever you need to do. Yeah.
Like he did.
And then the guy that she's with is such a, like, really, bro? I mean, and then I was a little bit more ashamed because she's Dominican. So she represented me. I said, we don't act like this. We do not act like this. What are you doing? I didn't even really speak to her about it because I was more friends with him because we were basketball coaches together and we had a travel team together. I knew her because of him, and we would double date with my ex-husband, and our kids grew up together. But I never saw her the same way. I simply had to just stop talking to her because I couldn't associate myself with her. How can you do this to my homeboy? How can you just leave him out to dry? I mean, he's good. He won everything. He got a good lawyer, and they made her sell the house. I mean, he took her to the cleaners. She has to pay him palimony. So because she made so much more money. You know, when she graduated and got that master's degree, she got head of nurse or whatever and was making over $200,000. He got palimony. He got palimony, and she hates it now. She has to pay half the mortgage. I mean, but it's really sad. And ladies in the chat, I just want to say it's a real thing. Don't do our brothers like this. It's just, they don't deserve it. We need our men, and to step on them and treat them like that is really, it's really sad.
Well, and a lot of times it goes to that point where she's going to make a misstep because greed has, and whatever else that she had in her mind had over it took her over. You know, it really did. It messed with her consciousness, right? And I already know, Lost, you already got some a passage that goes for that, because I heard you say something to the, you know, what she was just saying. Because the thing is,
I'm gonna pull my, I'm gonna go out. I was gonna say pull out, then we had to pause.
Yeah, pause.
Pause. Anyway, I gotta go. Good night to you all. So
Good night.
This was great
All right,
conversation. It was good to hear. You know,
Right.
quiet. This is my new me now. No more yelling on the panels. I get my F-bomb down. You know, down to a manageable level.
Right.
We'll get
we want you to be around longer, man.
Look, we'll get Trey to pull it out every once. We're gonna do it once a month.
Wait a minute, pause.
It's not gonna right. Pause.
See you guys later. Take it easy.
All right, Arpane.
Good night.
All right, Arpane.
All right now.
You know, we're gonna wrap this show up, man. We want to make sure that we have somebody waiting for some more for next week. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave a little meat on the bone.
Yeah.
JT, you got any final thoughts, man, before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. So you know, we got pretty deep today on Talk That Talk Tuesday. So tomorrow it's gonna be Wild Wednesdays tomorrow, man. So I'm just gonna be pulling up some videos, do some some recent stuff that's out there. We're gonna do a segment, and I said I was just gonna keep the segment called Rate the Date. So I'm gonna be pulling up some Kendra G videos and have the fellas on the panel clowning and whatever, man. You know, we get a little bit serious, but it's not gonna be all of that, man. It's gonna pretty much be, something where we can have fun, man, a little comedy or whatever. And then we just gonna go ahead and get ready for Thursday with your boy, Dr. Nakumbe and Coach K.
Right.
And then you know what it is on Friday, boy. You know what it is. The barber shop. This is not the barber shop. But and what time Embraces are you gonna be up?
8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Trust me, I'll tag you in my little preview that I always drop on Wednesday nights.
Absolutely.
So, and I got you on the list now.
Okay. And don't forget, we definitely gotta continue
do that collabo.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Indeed. For everybody watching from here on out, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. For the new people, make sure you hit subscribe. Welcome to the channel. And also make sure that you share the stream, because these conversations need to be had without all the fussing and yelling. We're going to really get down to the nuts and bolts of this thing and try to fix what needs to be fixed and leave what needs to be broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got work to do. So thank you guys for coming out. Welcome to another edition of Talk That Talk Tuesday on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Good evening and good night.
Peace out.
Subscribe now.